Now we're back on point. I don't know what happened a few moments ago. That recording is in progress at the moment. Now I feel more secure. And I apologize, everyone. But now I had to cut my computer off and cut it back on because we got stuck or something happened. But other than that, thank you, Zoom, for now you're in. Zoom is back on. And now we can get on with the program. I'm sorry, I took a few minutes off trying to get everything together. But now I feel comfortable. So again, let me redress and come back again as I was sharing. This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. How is everyone doing today? Now I feel comfortable. Not today, but tonight. Tonight is November 16th, 2025. That's November 16th, 2025. And this is Fight Fire with Truth, which is open conversation. And tonight we're going in, as I was sharing with you a few moments ago, this is Life of Mikael, question and answer, part 16 and 17. Yes, the day was the 16th, and this is part 16 and 17. That's something. So, before we get started, we're going to start off with our prayer. Start off with the prayer, then we're going to get into the story as I was sharing. So, blessed be thou, Father of the universe, that bring forth all living creatures forth from the earth. Blessed be thou, Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Blessed be the Father of Israel. Blessed be the Father to our tribe of Israel. Thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. We ask you to keep giving us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, life, health, and strength, food, shelter, and clothing. Let us be happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, and prosperous in all that we do. We ask you to keep leading and guiding us so we can help leading and guiding others in your knowledge, your word, your ruach, and your way. We ask you to keep your arm protection around us, keep us in every way, help us in every way, and allow us to prosper in every way in your name and in your word, which is in your law. We ask you to keep your arm protection around us. We ask you to forgive us and our ancestors of any sins that we have done against you, your word, and your ruach, which is the spirit. We ask you to forgive us, our ancestors, and our forefathers, for we have transgressed against you, and you've also transgressed against us because of our disobedience to you and your law and your word. We ask you to forgive us as we turn from the ways of the world and turn back to you, your laws, and your ways, and allow us to be a light, a beacon light to others to see and know your word, know your way, and do your will. We ask you to help us in every way, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, or spiritual. In all these things we pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise you Almighty. Praise you Almighty. Thank you, Father. Now, thank the Father for all he done, the Creator for all he's done, been doing, and plan to do. Um, a lot that has happened and been going on in the earth, and it is going on in the earth. But all it depends on where you stand with the Creator, in his word, and with him. Um, and this is, like I said, I shared when I was in Europe, before going through my spiritual awakening, I made a promise to the Creator. I asked him if he brought me to the truth. I'll put the truth in songs in writing and give it to the world. It's up to the world to accept it or reject it. Um, and as he brought me to the truth and knowledge as I've come to know according to his word and according to prophecy and the will of the Father and the things that we're going through today, I've come to understand a great deal of information. I'm not saying I know it all, but I've come to understand a great deal and things are happening in today's time. So, it was some weeks ago, about 8 weeks ago, if not nine, excuse me, a brother named G1, he's not on tonight, or as of yet. G1, I was telling him some things about, he was asking me some questions about my life, and I was, giving him information and things I've been through, things I've experienced, and things like that. So he said, man, you ought to talk about your life. I said, hey, I plan on doing something like that, making a book or either have a movie or something like that, because I've been through some things. Excuse me. I've been through some things in my lifetime, and I would like to share. I mean, I would love to share it'd be a lot, that I could share compared to the things I went through spiritually as well as physically and mentally and emotionally and a lot of other things as well. So I'm just thankful to be here today to be able to speak on those things and to share the life history story and to share what the Creator has allowed me to come to know to bring to the world, to the people. So other than that, that's what I'm doing as in sharing information. And we hear Sundays and Monday nights, and then we hear on Tuesdays for a private meeting on Zoom only, and we in other meetings as well. So right now, I'm going to get started. I left off last week. Last week, I was sharing information about my story, life story, and I was in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta, and this was around. I remember from what I remember leaving off at. I was talking about Desiree, which is my long distance relationship. We had a 10 year. I'll say it was 10 years. I would say it was 10 years. At least I think. 2006, practically 2016, 17, 14, 17. But we were just together until everything just cut off. But long distance, but it just things went the way it went. Spirit already told me in 2006, 2015 is when we met. 2005, um, around August or September, August, around late August, I mean mid and late August, we met in 2005, from what I can remember, between June and August in 2005. And when we met, but at this time, I think I was at the point when I was with the last lady that I was with before coming back to Detroit. Her name was Tanisha. And I remember sharing this point. Now I'm still with Desiree. Um, Desiree wouldn't let me go, because she didn't want to have a long distance relationship. And when I tried to break it off, she didn't want to break off, but yet and still, she didn't want to come and stay with me or be with me as well. So now I'm, and I'm loyal. So, I like her. I really liked her. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying I was infatuated more. I think I'm more infatuated because when I saw her, it was like that so-called love at first sight. That's where I was at on that point at that time. But other than that, no, the relationship came long distance. Really, I noticed that when I really tried to break it off with her, the more she clung to me. I noticed that, but she seemed like she really liked me too. So as far as I'm concerned, we was together. But like I said, long story short, get back to where we was last week. Now I have met Tanisha. After meeting my brother, I go back to chapter to 16, 15 and 16. Yeah, 15 and 16, to listen to some of the story I just shared with you. But now I'm at the point where now I met Tanisha. I met her on the dance floor. We saw each other in passing a couple of times. Tanisha, that is. We saw each other in passing a couple of times, and she wanted me to teach her to dance, teach her some dance move or to dance. And we kept missing each other. So we kept missing each other, right? After we missed each other a few times, I went through this situation afterwards, around 2012, and I was going through a spiritual situation. And I believe I'll share with you. I did share with y'all last week when it was around the 12th of August, and the Spirit said they're coming for you in 3 months' time. They're coming for you in 3 months' time. When it said that, I was terrified. I just knew at that time I was really focused on the New World Order, the FEMA camps, the Rex 84, the big boxes, the big coffin. They call them female coffins when you can put about 4 or 5 bodies in. I was really heavy into that at that time, and when the spirit said they're coming for you in 3 months' time, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to understand. So I was back out, and I'm every time I get on train now, and I'm saying, repent, repent, repent for thine obligance. So I'm sharing that again because it's been this is what 2000 this is in 2000 what's it 11. This was around 2011 because me and Tanisha got together we actually was really mending and really getting together in 2012. So this was 2011. Um and that was in August. That was in August. Um and and it said 3 months time. So October, November, August, September, October, November. I think I shared that. So in 3 months' time, I ran back into Tanisha again after having seen her, like I said, in passing. So I ran to her again in November. At this time, I was staying with Felicia, right? I think I was staying with Felicia for maybe a month, maybe 2 months. I know in June, the end of June, I left I left Tay and MCAT and Tay, and I was in the front room where they had the bedrooms. I ended up leaving them because I told his brother, he's gonna get a house, and he said he needs somebody to stay with him. He had like a deformed arm, right? And I knew he needs some help, but yet still I need a place to stay. So he told me that this and that. He said, I don't know if he said his son was on drugs, or whatever, but he was tired and he wasn't gonna do this and that. And I said, "You sure? Are you sure?" Told me, man, yeah, man, everything good, man. Yeah. I said, "You sure, man?" Because I'm telling you, when I tell his brother, I give my word. So I told him I was gonna leave because the apartment was two bedroom apartment, but yet still it was small. So I'm getting ready to move in with this brother, right? So me getting ready to move in with him the last day of June when I'm ready to make my move. He said, "Man, my son gonna come with me." I said, "Bro, but you told me, man, but I can't leave my son out this and that." I said, "Man, lesson learned, lesson taught, lesson learned." But yet and still, it's something I went through. So I was homeless from that point from July. I was sleeping under shrubs in certain areas, end up going to a homeless shelter for a quick minute and started getting my mail sent there as well. Wasn't really staying there, but I had my mail going there, but I was staying out. I ain't never really stayed in because I never paid to go and stay nowhere. But it was just the fact that I had to go there, get my mail coming there. And then as I was sharing, I started standing in the back of the store where I was doing my alkaline water and teas at. Alkaline waters at mostly, but alkaline waters and teas. So, but I kept myself clean, kept myself up, still could stay clean. But a lot of people didn't know. I think the word started getting around a little later, but a lot of people didn't know that I was homeless for a moment, had much respect around the community. But a lot of people didn't know. I kept myself up, kept myself clean. Nobody really didn't know unless the word started getting out. 'Cause I wouldn't let nobody see me go back there, but unless somebody knew. And the only person I knew was Cosine, which was the owner of the store. And I didn't think she was telling anybody. But then, things get out one way or another. So, um, didn't get loud, but and if it did, then it come back to me. But sometimes you can hear whispers, and some people may know certain things. But like I said, I always kept myself clean. I kept myself up. People see me like they always saw me. So now it comes around the time of August, and I think I had just said I went to go visit my family in Mississippi. My sister Irene Tyler, she wanted to have like a big family gathering, and we all went out to Alabama to this water park. This around for my Earth Day, right? And we had a great time out there, and then we came back to Mississippi, and I caught the bus back home. Um, I caught the bus back home. I ended up going by my cousin's house because it was raining that night. And it was something that he said. His name is Butch, my cousin Butch. Something he said that really kind of it got to me, it hit me deep too. But as many times I've helped him, and I just wanted to sit down and chill that night. I was gonna leave and still do my thing. And he said, as I was sitting on his chair, cause I just wanted to can I just chill out here tonight? Just sit down in the chair, whatever. And he said, yeah, come on in. So I'm sitting down, and within the hour, I believe it is. I believe within the hour he came, sat down. He said, "Mike, don't let your problem be my problem." I said, "What? Don't let your problems be my problem." I'm like, "What you talking, man? I ain't never brought my problems to him. I've never. I don't do that. I don't bring my problems to nobody. If I do anything, I handle it myself. I even remember when I was coming up, when I was growing up. One of my cousins, my cousin Nina, it was a bully on my street that he was older than me, he was bigger than me, but he would always call himself bullying me, and I remember giving I popped him one good time. I think after that one good time, I think he left me alone, but it was like a little while long situation going. But my cousin told me, why don't you go get Maine? Maine's my oldest brother. Actually, the house I'm staying in now is actually his house. So um I'd rather give my funds to my family members than just be giving it to anybody out there in the street. So, and my brother know who and how I am. So, um, my cousin Nina said, "Why don't you go get Maine? Tell Maine to go tell him." I said, "No, that's all right, Nina. I always handle my own, and any of my family that know me, they'll tell you I always handle my bill. I never ran to get nobody for nothing. Matter of fact, I took care of stuff for my family. You know what I'm saying? If anything went down, I was there. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the type of person I am and was and am today. So, what ended up happening was I went back home for a minute, went back to the past for a minute. That was when I was younger, younger, before the story that I started, before I started this whole story for real. That was when I was young. So so where was I at before I jumped back to that? Because that right there took me back. My mind went back there for a moment. But I was talking about Tanisha. I was talking about oh me moving, me standing in the back, and I don't know where my mind went right then. It got totally off the subject, but I just was telling you about me handling my own business. Oh, my cousin Butch, that's what it was. My cousin Butch. And he said, "Don't let your problem be my problem." I'm like, "What?" And he know that because I always took up for him and that as well. And matter of fact, him and his brother, both, they're tall. But I took up for them, and I might as well say taught them how to fight. I'm the oldest under my mother on my mother's side of the family. I'm the oldest. So my biological mother side of the family, I'm the oldest of the family. You know. So on the cousins and cousins and nieces and nephews, I'm the oldest. So cousin, when he said that offended me. I said, okay, I just left. I got up and I just left. Like I said, I didn't have nowhere to stay. So I ended up. I remember it was something going on that night. Couple of things went on that I saw. Now, I don't know what it was, just little arguments or whatever. And one time I thought I heard a gunshot. I remember just laying on the cement ground, and then I ended up going back to where I was staying at behind the store. I ended up staying that night, but it was raining outside, so it was cold. So I remember that. That was right after my Earth Day, and I made it back home. Then that's when August 12th, around August 12th, somewhere around those days. Something happens around that time all the time. But around that time, the spirit said, they're coming for you in 3 months' time. I hadn't ate nothing the whole day. I was going across town to get gallons to make my waters for sales at the store. And when the spirit said that, and I was at Kensington Station heading back, I already got the gallons and everything. I was at Kensington Station heading back to the store, in Little Five Points. And And after that happened, it was a few things happened at that time. Um, but when that was told to me, I was terrified. So, and at this time, like I said, if I go back to last week, I went to, we had like a couple of house party on the roof at the stores. I remember like this brother named Jabari, Alexis' ex-husband. The lady I was telling you about, her ex-husband. I remember seeing him up there. We always sit down talking. I was sharing information with them about what had happened. But before that, I believe I talked to Tassili, and I shared that last week. Tassili Raw Reality, good food, y'all, good raw food she have. But I remember sitting down talking to her, and she was telling me about um, just talking about the tanks and certain things going on. Things according to what everybody was calling the New World Order, but a lot of things according to the takeover was mainly manifesting. Talking about the FEMA camps, talking about tanks, and I remember in Iron Mountain, as I probably shared with you already. Iron Mountain is a documentary and some undercover notes that was made a documentary out of has a lot of information about the stuff that's going on today. I had a 6 hour VHS tape, and in that documentary was 2 hours long on the 6 hour tape, plus the other information that I had on the tape as well. I had a lot of information talking about the mark of the beast, talking about chips and the numbers, the barcodes, a lot of stuff that it had in that information that I still remember here. You know what I'm saying? But in Iron Mountain, I remember they was talking about the U.S., the UN forces building, and all the other forces around the world dwindling, going small. So it's going to be a one world government when it comes to the U.S., to the forces, or to who's going to be, it's going to be the UN army all over, right? So that was just one point in the documentary. Plus there's a lot of other information they're talking about that actually has shown and happened um in these days. But within all that, like I said, I was just terrified around that time. So make a long story short, 'cause I think I shared most of that. A friend of mine named Felicia ended up connecting with her. Um, so I started staying with her for a minute, for like I think throughout September or and October. September and October, I was staying with Felicia, right? And then I ended up going on this trip, Zakur, brother Zakur. That's his name, brother. To to Tawhida's husband was brother Zakur. That was his name, was Chief Zakur. I couldn't get it last week, but I finally got it. Came out. Thank you, Father. Chief Zakor, right? Brother Zakor, beautiful brother, right? He was connected with the native tribes, and he was connected with the I guess the Indian chief. She was a woman. I think she was in Louisiana at the time. He was connected with her. And and Brother Zakor made a trip. And first he had a gathering in November. I think it was November. No, first we went on the trip. I think the trip, because I was still where I was staying at, behind the store. But we went on a trip to I think it was from where Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton is from. I think it's from there. I can't remember the name of I think it was Springs, Water Springs, Crystal Springs, Hot Springs, Missouri, I think it is. I think Missouri. I can't remember exactly. Um, I think it was Missouri, but that's as far as I know. It wasn't Arizona because one way out there, wasn't in Arizona. So I think it was Missouri or that's as far as I can remember. But we went out there for a trip. Went out there, we saw the mounds. We actually went out there to go for camping in a sense, for camping and to dig for crystals. Dig for crystals, there are a lot of crystals. So, well, crystals out there, you can walk around and find them on the ground out there in I think it's Missouri. I can't think of the name. But they had a lot of crystals out there. So we went out there, a lot of people came back with bags of crystals. And what I remember, not only remember, I had this chunk about this big, about that thick. And it was like, like energy, crystal hold energy. This chunk I found had to clean it off, but it was like it was calling to me, not calling, but you could feel the energy like these do. Organized energy and other crystals. You can feel the energy you can feel the energy from certain crystals. So I don't know what was in the inside the brick, but I see you can see them in there. So it was full. It was full, but I never opened it up or broke it, nothing like that. But I actually set it under my feet as we rolled home because it was too big for anywhere else. The van and what we was in was packed. So I put it under my feet where I was sitting at. And I brought that back and I actually had that in the shop in Little Five Points at Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace. I had it sitting up there in there for a minute as well with me. But it's still, I know where it's at, where it's supposed to be at. I know where it's at right now because I took it to Serenity. That's where it's supposed to be at this moment in time. But other than that, moving on. Now, at this time, I believe now I end up moving in with Felicia and a couple of friends of mine, right? So, which is her sons. So I end up moving in with her. She's a friend of mine. Matter of fact, she's a really good friend of mine. She took me in. I was there for about, I think, for about 2 months. Then November, and we went on the trip. I think that trip was in September of 2011 when we went to Kansas City. It wasn't Kansas, Missouri, wherever it was that way, out that way. Excuse me. So, excuse me. So, after that, I don't think I was staying with her then, but I was still behind the store then, and I ended up moving with Felicia, and I was with her for a few months. Me and Desiree still, she'd come and visit me. She'd come and visit me there. Um, Me and Felicia, we was real good friends, as I said. Me and Desiree come there and visit me, and then we was together at that point in time, and then she always stayed in Alabama. So in November 1st, I think it was the 1st of November, Brother Zakor had like a gathering, and there was a woman playing the bowl, like a mhm. I went up here last week and I went in this position. Let me do this. I can show you now. Y'all don't know what singing bowls are. If you don't know, got my box now. Before it's behind me. This is a singing bowl. I actually got two. This is another singing bowl. Let me see if I can hit it for you real quick. I ain't did it in a while. Smaller they are, the harder it is. All right. It's a little hard, but you heard a little bit there. That is, and that's I believe that's for the solar plex. So the chakra for solar plex is yellow. You can look up the chakras as well and check that information out. All right, put this back up. And this is my other one. These are just like their bell. They're healing instruments. They are to heal. They help healing. They are healing instruments as well. So I had that for some time. So those is with this lady, but she had a lot of them, small ones, bigger ones. She had a whole lot of them, right? And it was like a little symphony she was doing at his house, at our brother Zakur's house. Brother Zakor and Tawhida's home, right? So she was playing those, and we just had like a session, and everybody's had to sit down, they're having their conversation, things like that. Just mainly you know, a lot of people's more conscious conversations and things like that, right? So now we was having conscious conversation, and like I said, Tanisha, she was with this guy named Sunra, right? Called his name Sunra. You know, cool brother. He was cool brother. You know, but I don't know what happened. Looked like in process of time within the next 2 months, November. That was beginning of November. Between the end of November, beginning of December, because this is hot in Atlanta now. It's not cold. It was warm. So, like I said, I ended up going, me, Keith, and we ended up going jogging. Me and Tanisha was connected. We connected, I think, when I didn't have a place to fill my gallons up, I would, you know, barter with people to do that, to get them to the shop and things like that, because like I'm homeless now, but if I wasn't doing them at the shop, which is I always have my machine, I would barter to do them at homes with the machine. So, but I always kept made sure everything was always up to par. You know what I'm saying? So she came and picked me up in her van one day from the train station. We connected, we talked, didn't do anything. We just talked, uh, talked again from time, not really time past, but just getting to know each other. And then from that point, we just started to grow, you know, getting to know each other. I was coming by, you know, it wasn't like we get, you know, not like, you know, we just get to know each other. Like that's what I like to do. You get to know the person that you plan on getting with. And like I said, Sunra going to California, so I think their relationship ended, right? So me and her were just getting to know each other. We was growing to know each other, and she had a good friend across the street, and I can't even think. I'm thinking of her face, but I can't think of her name right now. Oh boy, she had a little girl and a little boy, sister across the street, but Tanisha didn't have any children. So me and Tanisha, we're growing to know each other. Coming over to our house, chilling out for a minute. Me and some friends coming over, introduced her to Keith. Uh, you know, we always majority of the stuff we did was always mostly on a conscious level. Excuse me, on a conscious level. And like I said, my mind was like, but when I went on the trip for the stones and the crystals, it was some sisters that really helped me out, kind of slowed me down and really brought me back down. Because I'm telling you, boy, when the spirit said they come for you in 3 months' time, I didn't understand who the they was, but I understood later on, you know. And the day was just to share with you, Tanisha, and I'm thinking with my thoughts. I know Tanisha, it was 3 months. It was in August when it was told me, September, October, November. November is when I ran back into Tanisha. In that time, me and her started to get to know each other. And in this time, we end up building a relationship. And like I said, when we on the hike when we went jogging, um, me, Keith, and on, I remember we after the jogging, we all get or it was that time or a time after when we all got together. And I don't know if Chief Shakur was out there, but it was a few of us together. And I remember I'm holding Tanisha, I picked Tanisha up. We walking on some actual rocks coming across. Okay. What's going on, G1? How you doing? Glad you can make it.
Peace, bro. Yeah,
All
man.
right, peace and love. So I'm
Yeah.
walking across the rocks and I'm holding her in my arm, right? And I picked her up to put her up on the bank, because the bank was like about right here, right? So I picked her up, put her on the bank, and I pushed her up. And someone said, she trusts you. Someone, so I forgot, I don't know if it was on, I don't know if it was Keith or somebody else in the group with us, but they said she trusts you. And I remember them saying that. When they said she trusts you, I said, oh, okay. Then from that point, I think we really started getting together. But before me and her at that time, and sometime in, I believe it was November or December, Sister Akashi did a type of reading with some cards, saying that I was a six of diamond, something like that. And not, she didn't do it with the card. She had a book of cards, book that tells you about people with cards. And I was supposed to be like a six of diamond. That was the second or third time I heard that, according to, I don't know if it's my birthday or what have you. But then she told me some things that said, "Were you and her might?" She didn't tell me who it was because she never met her, but she told me about this lady. You know, you might end up connecting with her, and y'all might grow into a relationship or whatever. That ended up happening, right? Now this is all into the end of 2011. Now me and Tanisha is beginning to come together in 2012. Now we end up uh, we started really connected. So, you know, growing together. Now I'm in her house, which is serenity, you know, and I know how I feel for a man to be in a woman house under a woman. Um, when a man feel like he's the man, he should be able to provide. But when the woman's home, you know, it just feels funny. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not to give no excuse or different. It feels funny for a man not to be in the place of provision. And even though the house was there, I still was doing what I was doing with my teas and my waters, and I was still providing with assets, food, and whatever. But when you don't have the covering, to me and your name, it's just something that might not be for everybody. But I'm just giving you on my point how I felt behind it. That's how I felt. So, but I just felt like that, you know. But I was still comfortable being there and doing things and building, you know. And like I said, we was growing. And what is her name? Stayed right across the street from Tanisha. Oh man, I cannot think of her name right now. But she's real giddy. She was real high spirited. She was a beautiful sister. Like I said, she had a little boy and a little girl. Um, Surprised I can't think of her name right now. Whoo boy. But um um so you know, a lot of things going on. You know, I was going over there, doing things over there for them, for her, Park Street with Tanisha and stuff like that. We used to have a lot of conversations and stuff like that. And we just grew together. So we grew, relationship grew. Um, and you know, she was all about, and Tanisha was a straight 100% vegan. When I say straight 100% vegan, no eggs, no cheese, nothing outside of nothing, nothing dealing with animals, period. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we was just growing together. I'm gonna say that. Like she was 100% vegan, and she was, when I say clean, I mean, I don't know what they call it. You know, like when they have that deficit about being real clean, real neat, and real clean. She was definitely that. I liked it, you know, but you know, we end up getting a friend. Or we're not getting a friend. We start going to this place where they grew natural food. Is it Linwood, Lakewood, or I forgot the name of the place, or that was the name of the street, and it was right there on the corner. And we would go out there. I think we would go out there. I think we were selling food because we weren't growing food, but we would go out there to purchase food, and we go out there. I think to help them as well. We go out there to help. So we was more community based, you know. And Tanisha, she was really good when it comes to, when I say making food, and when I say making a platter, making a plate, and she could cook. When I say cook, she could cook vegan food. That girl could cook. It was good. Boy, she used to throw down, and she used to just try stuff, do all kind of new stuff. I remember one time this guy named Todd, somebody that she knew, ended up coming, and like I said, she had an open house, so she had a lot of friends she knew. So some people would come and stay at Serenity, and they had their own room, but they would come stay at Serenity, which is the name of the house. This guy named Todd, and she made what would you call it? Some hummus one time, you know. Tyler's like, man, no, I tried to eat it, but that was the first time doing it, but it wasn't. I tried, but they said, man, you don't have to eat that, man. It ain't, you know. But yeah, it was that that just hit me. I just thought about that, and I thought about it as I was talking about her making food. That was the only something that I could say she made that wasn't good, but that was her first time trying it. She was good at trying new stuff. But she was I'd say she was a chef. I'm saying she was a real vegan chef. She was good. She could make some food, boy, and I'm telling you. So she was a beautiful person. She was a beautiful spirit. You know, I would say semi feminist. If she was a feminist, you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell unless you are with her. But I'm still me. I'm a man. That's the reason why I say when you got your own place and you being a certain type of way. But she was always a woman. That's why I say semi-feminist. She wouldn't say she was a full feminist. She was just more, but you know, I wouldn't say knew her place, nothing like that. She was a woman. She was a woman and a touch of feminist with it, but she was a woman. She was a good woman. Um, I was just not in a good place. But when we was together, we was good at first. And I don't know, I went into a depression. I just want to share that. I went into a depression. It got to the point I didn't even want to go to work. And this other brother came that she knew. His name was it Marvin? I forgot his name. I could see his face, dark skinned brother. He came. Me and him. I'm friends with everybody. So um, I'm not gonna say another brother, he ended up coming. She had a lot of brothers that she was friends with, you know, that I was cool with, you know what I'm saying, became cool with being a friend because I was getting to know her and this was her life and I was actually in her life because that was her house. I'm there in Atlanta. I don't have no family there. Me and Butch, we really, like I said, me and Butch, we weren't dealing with each other, not on a hateful nothing like that. Just that I distanced myself from him because after that comment, I didn't really want to have nothing to do with him. But I do remember when me and Desiree was hanging and at one point in time, because she would always come, but it was before Tanisha at the time. I think I was still, there was around the trip there was I was with Felicia at the time, not with her, but I was staying with Felicia at the time. But this was around the time between the time of me being homeless and being over Felicia's. And me and Desiree, she came to visit me. And me and her were together and I was talking. She said, and it was like the spirit was talking to her through me, through her to me. Say, "Yes, anything can happen. And this and that, you ought to go tell him this and that. Because Butch, he may have met Desiree once or twice. Butch said, oh, it ain't gonna last. It ain't gonna last. Well, it didn't last because of her, because she didn't want it. But the whole thing is the father told me to leave her, put her out anyway back in 2006. The spirit did. But, you know, but Butch said it ain't gonna last when he first met her, you know. Um, but she didn't know he said that, and I never told her he said that whenever he met her. But at this point in time, in between that time, as I was sharing with you, I'm coming back. Um, she told me, she said, you'll never know what's gonna happen. Spirit told you that, and well, Spirit told me that, and I told her about him telling me uh about don't bring your problem to my problem, whatever he said. Don't let your problem be my problem. And I ended up telling her that because she's the only one I was really with that I could talk to because she was my lady. But she was long distance. So next thing you know, we was together. She said, "You all go talk to him." Y'all. So we went by there, talked to him. Hey, how you doing? You know, I hadn't seen him, and he knew I left, and knew he was up. I was upset when I left, but I never said nothing to him either or about it. Well, I just know I was pissed. So I did see him, say, "Hey, whatever, whatever." Spoke to him or whatever, and she took me by the house. We did, and then I left. So a lot of times, I think that she was there for a purpose as well. Desiree was in my life for a purpose, even though I was supposed to put her out in 2006 and didn't, and she kept hanging on. And I kept saying she to me she was fine. And a lot of people that met her, man, she tight. She was something. She's hot. A couple people I know is she's hot, man. She's fine, and I said yeah, a lot of people, like I told you, this other brother, he said, man, she like Jesus. Hey, what you talking about? They never say you're gonna see Jesus, or you never see Jesus, and he appeared. And it's like that what he was like. That what he was like. He was shocked because I always told him, and he didn't believe me. A lot of people didn't believe me when I would tell him I got a woman. She don't come around all the time, but I got a woman. But when they finally saw her, they was kind of shocked to see her. So, and that was very few that did. But back to Tanisha, I just wanted to put that in there because the thought that just hit my mind. Um, at that time, at that moment in time. But like I said, this other brother, he came from I think New York, and I don't know if her and him had a relationship before or not, but you know, um, I don't let that bother me because if I'm there, I'm there, and I know that nothing else is going on as far as I know. So, and I'm there majority of the time. We're around each other majority of the time. She ain't have no 9 to 5, and I didn't have no 9 to 5, but we do what we do. We both make money. I'm doing what I do. She do what she do, and so what ended up happening, um, after all that, the brother was going handling the store, my store for me, because I went into a depression. I ended up going to, I don't know what, sometimes when you just get to the point where you just don't want to do nothing. You just don't know what's going on, and you just out there. You really don't know what's happening. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's coming next. And I didn't realize it at the time, but that's what I went through. And we also we had this sister named Lonnie. Lonnie started staying with us as well. She ended up having a room in Serenity, right? She ended up having a room there. So as Lonnie was staying there with us, and she had a son named Haru. A son named Haru. Um, she stayed with us for a while. Now she knew how to do vegan desserts. She made vegan dessert and vegan soup. We used to love to eat her soup and eat her. I was like a sweethead then because I'm more like that. I used to be like that. I'm trying to get away from it like I used to, but I used to eat her cakes all the time. So she would do vegan cakes and stuff. Tanisha would cook. She could cook, or prepare food. Let me put it like that. She prepare food. So now this is in 2012. This is in 2012. Now around the time, because what was her girlfriend name across the street? Mm. But she made some cakes, right? Some fertile cakes, some cakes that make you fertile, you know, or make you and Tanisha ended up getting pregnant. I put it like that. Not too far into the car, not too far into the relationship, but she ended up getting pregnant. And that's when a lot of things was going. And I think in that time I got depressed. I believe also so far I kind of came out of my depression a little bit, and I seen that didn't realize it, but she went into depression. A lot of things that was going on. So it was just stuff happening that you just don't you just in the air about, but don't have no understanding. So we went through situations, right? And I believe, yeah, we did. And I think this is when I'm still doing my thing. I met this brother named Lamont that used to come to my sovereign classes. and he was staying in a rooming house. Went over there with him a few times, not too far walking distance from Tanisha, not too far from the train station. So I went over there, met him a couple times. We sat down, we talked about some things and what have you, according to knowledge. I'm just gonna put it like that. Knowledge about stuff going on, knowledge about the system and stuff like that, right? So I ended up going to the train station. I think that's the first time I met Asante, right? And so I'm always trying to recruit for a routine, get a group together so we can dance. So I ended up talking to Asante. We had a nice conversation, not knowing that he stayed there, but Asante, me and him had a conversation, and I mean, was it him first? Because I ain't tell y'all about Joy, uh, Jessica Joy. Matter of fact, matter of fact, how me and her, I'm going to get the group together in a minute. But first, I'll finish off with Asante. I think I met Asante at the train station first. And when I met him at the train station, we had conversation. You know, I meet people all the time. No, I meet people all the time. I talk to people all the time. So I talked to Asante at the train station. And as I'm talking to him, I'm talking about me dancing. And he said, "Oh yeah, I tried." You know, he said he acting and stuff. He a good actor. He good acting. And he said, yeah, I tried. We can see what we can do. You know, that's what I like about him. He'll try. If you say something, if he say something, he say he gonna do it. He'll try it. And that's what I like about me. He don't be like, "Well, nah." He's more like, okay, come on, let's see what we can do. I like that. But he always been that way. Even to today, our father I know him, as long as I know him, he's still like that today. He'll still try to do something. Whatever it is that he want to do, he gonna try it. You know, but he's an actor and he always try to do stuff. He loved baseball. But I met him at the train station. We talked, conversated, changed switch numbers. I said, okay, bam, went back. I don't know if I was leaving or coming back to the house, whatever. You know, from there. Then, like I said, where Lamont was at, he was there. I didn't know that he stayed there. And I think the next time I saw him, I think I seen him in passing at the house. I said, I think I saw that guy at the train station. I don't know if it wasn't close, so I remember. So, but we end up talking, connecting. Then he ended up coming over to the house, over to Serenity to practice. But before this, I think this at the time, I think Tanisha was still pregnant at the time. I think she was pregnant. I think she was pregnant around this time. Because uh before this, long before me and Tanisha, I believe it was, when Cecilia had her first, would still have it over there on Joseph Compute in Atlanta. Ralph David Abernathy, should I say, is on Ralph David Abernathy. She have her first business at this house near Lawson. Lawton is her house is just before Lawton, the main street right there off of Joseph B. Lowry. No, did I just say it correctly? Joseph B. Lowry. No, I can't think of the name. Boy, me and these names is just get mixed up. I do that all the time. Um, but the main one she got is still there today. Y'all see it. Tanisha's raw reality. Tanisha. So Joy, when I would go up to Tanisha's all the time, and me and Joy we connected on the dance floor. You know, she could dance. She liked to dance. I was dancing and stuff, and I would dance all the time. So a lot of people knew me. But me and Joy liked to dance, and that's what me and Joy we connected, right? I think she was married at the time. I think she was, but she she's like a little chef herself. You know, I say little chef. She's like a chef herself, but she's short. You know, Jessica Joy. She will always say hot tamale. I started calling her Hot Tamale. Now I just start calling her JJ or Jessica Joy, you know. Uh, but yeah, me and her, we were dancing, and when we would start practicing, right? This one now I'm with Tanisha at this time. We would practice. And we would practice across the street at I forgot her name. We started practicing over there, right? No. Yeah, we started practicing over there for it because Tanisha's house was full. She have a lot of artifacts and all kind of stuff there. So we was practicing across the street at the sister house across the street. She's gonna dance with us as well. She could dance, you know what I'm saying? She liked to dance. But I kept telling Joy to come and run because I used to do the helicopter. I call it the helicopter. Me and my boy Charlie Brown used to do it. I used to call it the helicopter. She'll run that what Charlie Brown used to do. What we called him Charlie Brown, his name was Antonio Hollins when we grew up dancing from high school. You know, he was one of the ones that was dancing with us as well. He was more like a side piece for the group, somebody that would come in and he was just an admirer of us, and he would come in and play somebody if we couldn't make it. But what me and Charlie Brown would do, he would run, and I catch him, I hold him up in the air, and I turn around, and like a helicopter, he'd be out like that, and I turn around like that in the air, and I put him on my head, and I stop, and I spin him on my head. I stop and I spin him on my head. Now Jessica, I was trying to get her. She was scared. She was like, "I'm scared." So she'll come, she run, she'll jump straight like that. She'll hop like that. I said, "No, jump." I said, "I tell you what, jump hard, jump like that. Don't just jump straight. Jump like you're jumping on my head, like you're gonna fly." Then she jumped. I picked her up like that. Right? I had her up there. I said, "I got you. Now hold your hands out and open your legs." She did that, and I started going around in circles. She said, "Oh, oh," and then she started. She's a dancer, but she had never done that before. So I had her up like that, right? Now I put her on my head and I put her down. Oh man, she liked it. Said, "I want you to run and come." So she ran. I caught her and I put her up like that. After that, I broke that fear. I broke that fear. She get around me and she said, "Ah," she know I can't. Bam, I got her. Bam, I got her. She know I had her. I broke that fear. She had no fear about when I said, "Come on, let's do this move, let's do that move." Come on, she was on it all the time. She was my number one when it came to doing those routines, right? So so uh mm, mm, mm. So I finally got her to do that. We was practicing over there, and then it was if y'all know blue pill, you got red pill and blue pill, right? Red pill and blue pill. Blue pill had a sister that he was with. I don't know if it was his wife or with him, but she had a son, right? Um, start with a J. Can't remember his name. Young brother. He's older now. Look, it was at least about 10. I know it's way over 10 years. Shit, about 15 years now. So he must be at least about 25, if not almost 30. I don't even think that late. No, I don't even think that old. Let's give it if it was at least 15 years, he was about 7, so he would be about 21, 22, no more than 25 now. No more than about 25. Uh Justin, not Justin, because my son named Justin. I remember that if it was Justin. But it's something close. I forgot. But and I think his mother's name was Nedra, I believe. But Blue Pill was him and her was Blue Pill and her was together. And the young man, I had him in the middle. We was all dancing. I had him up front or either in the middle. And he caught on. He was dancing real good. So we did what, 2 or 3 shows while we was there. We did about, matter of fact, I think we did a few of them because we actually did something at the hair thing down at the Civic Center. We actually performed there as well. So, we was making a name for ourselves. And I think this was before Asante got with us. Then when Asante got with us, me, Jessica, Asante, and it was also Devon. Devon is another brother that ended up getting with us, and we started performing around town, doing different shows and stuff like that around town. Um, and we call ourselves Smooth Bodies in Motion, the same name I had in Germany, but that's the only thing I could come up with because I'm not good with names. You know, that's the name I came up with. Well, reuse, shall I say. So our names were Smooth Bodies in Motion. We actually, if you go on YouTube, no, if you go on Facebook onto the groups, If you go on the groups on Facebook, you still pull up Smooth Bodies in Motion, and you can see that. Matter of fact, you pull it up on YouTube too. You'll see us performing at Centennial Park and some other places as well. But Smooth Bodies in Motion, SMOOTH space BODIES space IN space MOTION. Smooth Bodies in Motion. And you can be able to see us on, and don't forget, it's a group, and you can see us in that group on YouTube, and you can also pull them up on pull some of the videos up on YouTube. So, and check them out. Just wanted to share that. But we perform. And we started performing across town and doing certain things. Actually, I have a couple of videos as well. With our first video, I remember the first video with Asante, me, and Joy. I don't know if Devon made it or couldn't make it. What happened? That he didn't make it, but he couldn't make it at the time. But we did that. That was our first video, and I still have that one. But then we did a few things around town. So that was Smooth Bodies in Motion in Atlanta. And we, until I came home, we was growing. Matter of fact, you'll see on there when I was around in 2014, 2013 at this time, I believe this was, when we did the first show. That was in 2013. 2014 is when I had my own place. But between that time or after that time is when or around that time, in all that time, is when Tanisha was pregnant. We end up going to now we get to the another part of a vision that I share that I like to share. Now going into 2013. This is in 2013. This is in January. January 2013, Tanisha pregnant, and we end up going to Virginia. We end up going to Virginia, right, to be around her family. This is her pregnancy. She pregnant, and like I said, we both was going through a little something, not against each other, but we both, she's depressed. I'm depressed. I was depressed. I'm kind of coming out of it with my dancing situation. A lot of things was going on. Also, before me and Tanisha got together, I was still like kind of leery. She helped me as well when I first got with her in this book called Now. It's a book called Now because a lot of things, like I said, that was still on me about they're coming for you in 3 months' time. And when I got with her, that is more like when it kind of the piss of it kind of faded. Let me put it like that. It kind of faded when I got with her. She gave me this book called Time of Nine. Like I said, we was all into knowledge and information. She was sharing other things with me that kind of got me calmed down. So when they were talking about they're coming for you in 3 months' time, I believe that they was Tanisha and the baby. Tanisha, and when she got pregnant, because it wasn't too long into the relationship, she got pregnant like around about, we really got started getting together around about December, January. She got pregnant around February or March, so it was really kind of quick. So when they said they're coming for you, I believe that they're coming for you in 3 months' time was Tanisha first. When me and her got together, and then we grew, and then next thing you know, she got pregnant. But like I said, that was around that time. Now we're coming into January of 2013. Now, in January 2013, now, in all this time, when it come to the dancing situation, this was later on, like in the latter part of the year, going into of 2012. It wasn't the early part, but everything was building. All that was building up to that point. I think our first performance was in March. It was in March. It wasn't March 2012. Because it was March 2013 was our first. So that was after the baby and everything. That was after that situation. But yeah, that was in March 2012. But no, 2013. March 2013. Right. It was in March 2013. So that was after the situation. But now in January 2013, we ended up leaving from Atlanta. We went to Virginia to be around her family, right? So we was there, and as we was there, we got there. I think we was there in January. We was there like the first 3 days. We made it like the first. We made it like the first, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, because baby was born. Oh, we was about the fifth. Baby was born on the 10th, and he was here till the 20th. So he was here for 10 days. So we was there. We might have gotten there around the 5th. And 3 days later, I had a vision. Vision, dream, what? Yeah, it was a vision or a dream. And this is when I was I talked about the zero tolerance. And in this vision, I was asleep. And I think I shared this, but I'm gonna share it again, but because we're where we at now. We're at the point now. So we're there. We there for a few days, talking to the family, getting to know everybody, what have you. We actually got, matter of fact, Opal. What was her name? I'm saying her name a few days ago. I said she passed. She was our not nanny, but what they call it, our women that she was an elder. Man, what they call them that carry they have the baby. It's a woman that they give a name that they have they birthed the baby for you. I forgot the name. Not handmaid. Um, but she passed a few years ago. Within 3 to 5 years ago, she passed. Um, mm, mm, can't think of her name, but she rode out there to Virginia with us. Um, and she helped us get the place clean. When I say clean, which is wipe down everything, bleach down everything, clean up everything because they say it's spirits around when you don't have. And I'm not saying the place was dirty. I ain't gonna say it was abandoned, but it was one of the family homes that nobody was living in. I'll put it like that. No one was living there, but family will come every like when family come in town, that'd be a place for them to come. But nobody had came there for a while. So all we had to do just come there and just fix it up. Get it together, just move stuff around, clean up a little bit, not saying that it was dirty or anything like that, filthy. It was a nice place. It's just that nobody was there. So that's what me and Tanisha was staying at. I would go out and they had nice big some woods behind us, went out and get wood, and I actually make a wood at the fire. I make fire for the fireplace for the woods, take wood and build a fireplace at the fireplace and keep the place hot. And it was nice. We had a good time, good time. I had a good time at the time, you know. That's memories, you know. And them like the winter wonderland. This was in Virginia. So you know how it is like when it snows, how it just look beautiful when it snows and stuff like that. That's kind of like a memory from stuff like that. But what ended up happening was I think 3 days after being there, after we may have made it there on the 5th. 5 days later, I think she had the baby, which was the 10th. And then 10 days later, the baby passed. But in between, before she had the baby, I know it was I think it was the 3rd or 3 days later, because the 3rd of January is my biological father's Earth Day. But I know it wasn't then. But it was the 3 days there. I know it was 3 days after being there, I had a dream or a vision. And as I was asleep, it was a panel. It was a panel. Several people were sitting on the panel. I was like in the room over here, but I could see in the room where they was at, and it was like a lot of people in there as well. So I think a door was open, but I just knew that they made a sentence of a guy. It was a guy there who was being um what they call it when you just out there. He was just out there just laying with women. Excuse me. He's out there just having sex with women. Wasn't being serious, wasn't taking it serious. He was out there, but I believe he was warned This is in the community of our community. We was coming together. We became a nation. We started knowing who we were. We started keeping the laws. We started, but I think this person uh um didn't take it for, he took it for granted or what have you. I don't really know how it went. I just know that when they had the sentence for this guy, they pulled him up and they was talking about that, he was laying a lot of these women and he's not being responsible. So they sentenced him to death in the vision. They sentenced this dude for death. So I think they adjourned everything. Everybody's coming out. Now I'm outside and people coming out and they said, I remember this elder that I remember seeing in Atlanta. He said, yeah, he's supposed to get the death penalty. Yeah. And then some other people like, well, I don't think that's right. And I don't know. And me, myself, I was just like in awe. I was like, man, we just not becoming a nation and they giving him the death sentence. And I just woke up like that from the dream. Right. So I ended up telling the dream to Opal. I think her name was Opal. See, I don't want to say 'cause I know an acquaintance of mine, his wife's name was Opal. I don't know if that's her name or if that's Opal. Uh, I cannot think, but she was an elder. A lot of people knew in Atlanta. She was an elder, and she helped a lot of people when it come to midwife, to being a midwife. She was a midwife, right? She was a midwife. So me and her talking, I told her about the dream. Well, she said, well, that meant zero tolerance. I said, huh? Said, yeah, when they did that, and then they talk about she answered for me. Excuse me. She said, well, what happened was that now that everybody's become a nation, that was zero tolerance. So he was either being made an example of or he was warned and he didn't listen. So he was being made an example of. So, but that was zero tolerance because if they were just getting together, in that dream, they got together as a nation and then they sentenced him to death. That meant zero tolerance. I mean, ain't no playing going on. And I understand that. I'm the same way just I'm the same way on certain points of view, you know. So I said, man. So next thing you know, I think 2 days later, Tanisha went in labor. We had a Lotus birth. We had a Lotus birth. I captured that. I still got that on some tape. I think I got that on my file. I believe I do. Um, we had downstairs. Go downstairs. Go downstairs. Lift the toilet. Lift the seat. You hear me? Yeah. All right. Now, don't want him using the bathroom. I got a bathroom right here behind me up here where I'm at, so I don't want him using the bathroom while I'm talking to you. But back to I'm sorry about that, but back to what I'm saying is that is Opal, I believe her name is. But there we go. That's at this point in time, she said that meant zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. So she said that. And after that, like I said, 2 days later, she had the baby. Well, we had the baby. We had we had Lotus birth, and I remember sitting back there. I was in there with her. I was in there sitting in the tub that we was in together, and I was like in between being woke and sleep, and the spirit was upon me, and it said some Zulu something Zulu. And but it was a boy, it was something like a boy name, like a male's name. I was like, but it's gonna be a girl. We thought it was gonna be a girl. We never went and got it checked out because we didn't deal with the system. We thought it was gonna be a girl. We said Zulu something, and just before when right after it said Zulu something, she said, it's a boy. I was like, man, we both were shocked. So we had the baby, and she was kind of overprotective. But the baby was here for 10 days. Um, we had we had placenta stayed on the baby. We put the placenta in a pot while she stayed in the bed with the baby and everything. But like I said, the baby was here 10 days. And she wanted to come up with a name. What came to me was Mikael. You got a Mikael. He just left. That's my Mikael, my youngest son. But Mikael came to me at that time, right? And she said no, she wanted to name something else. She wanted to give him another name, but she wanted the name to come to her. So what name came to her was John Nathan. It's J-A or J-O, not Jonathan. It was J-A, Jonathan, J-A-N-A-T-H-A-N. That wasn't Jonathan, not Joe Nathan. It was John Nathan. So it was Jonathan. So that was what we called him. So, you know, I forgot when, I don't know, it didn't come right off, but it came like a few days later to her. But what was in my spirit was Mikael. That was just in my spirit. So his name was Jonathan Mikael Harris. That's what we called him. But he was here, like I said, for 10 days. And then he ended up passing, you know. But we ended up finding out he had a blood situation, that his blood was real thin. And I was thinking, man, if we'd have cut the cord, he'd have bled to death, you know, because we didn't know, you know. And I just leave it right there at that. So we tried to get him to, just situation happened. I broke down. You know, we had the funeral on the 23rd. He was born on the 10th, passed on the 20th, had the funeral on the 23rd. Um, and we both was, we both, and I could tell you, um, when the ambulance came, you know, where we wasn't at our house. We was somewhere else at the time, or something happened. I forgot where we was at. I was down there crying. I was laying on the ground crying. It looked like I seen some black fog, black smoke over my head in the spirit. Not over my head, but up in the air. While I was crying after, after the baby had passed, I'm out there crying, crying, crying. I'm breaking down. Now it happened to just see some black smoke. uh, It wasn't right over me, but it was up a little, and a little like way up, but just like less than a house distance, a little bit lower than the house, but further up, more than the ceiling, but less than the top of a house. I seen some smoke in the air, black smoke, you know. I was like, man. So, we both, we had the funeral on the 23rd, and then we end up coming back home. And I think after that is when we started. That's when that happened with Smooth Bodies in Motion. We really started practicing after that. I didn't really just jump into it, but it just kind of gradually started building. Now I'm doing this with them. I guess that kind of got my mind off of it a little bit. Still doing the alkaline water and tea, but now I'm dancing now. So that is more like my outlet. That was more like my outlet. 'Cause I'm a dancer. So that was more like my outlet at that time. So time go on. I I'm gonna tell you something. I seen a vision. I seen a vision while me and Tanisha was together. Now, some person, I don't know if I should put in there, but I couldn't have intercourse after she got pregnant. Me and her, we couldn't get together. We could not get together. I just say I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna slip that in just so I remember it. But we couldn't get together. I know that, and I just wanted to snip that there just so I don't forget it, because who knows, and I may forget certain about it. After she got pregnant, we couldn't get together. I'm just gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave it at that. I know what it meant by we couldn't get together, but we couldn't do anything. We couldn't do nothing, and mainly we was more like that's where our standstill was, and for the whole pregnancy, But I wasn't cheating. I wasn't out there seeing nobody, nothing like that. Me and Desiree were after me. Tanisha got together. I didn't share this with you. When me and Tanisha first got together, Tanisha didn't mind because she understood, I guess, polygamy. She understood it. So she didn't mind me going to see Desiree. So I would go to visit Desiree stay there for about a weekend or a week. And, Desiree knew, she knew. So um, I had the key to polygamy is, and to show the difference is when you're not cheating when they know. It's not called cheating. If both your women know, if your woman know you seeing somebody else, it's not cheating. They know. That's not cheating. They may be upset. Now, Desiree was upset at first, but she dealt with it. She know I shared with her before. She don't want to have a committed relationship, so she still wanted to be with me. I was still accommodating her because we was together. But when me and Tanisha got together, she was upset behind that. But we end up. I went to see her about 2 or 3 times. But she kept trying to draw a wedge in between it. But I'm gonna let you. I want to share something with anybody out there just to let y'all know before we go to part 2. Any woman, and I'm gonna tell you from my experience, if you got a woman who don't mind you, or should I say, who's with and understand you being in a polygamous relationship, that draws that man closer to that woman. I'm telling you from experience, from a man who knows. Y'all women don't know what a man or how a man mind. The fact that she didn't mind and she understood and she had no problem with it, it drew me closer to Tanisha. That drew me closer to Tanisha. And it really, and the fact with the one with the negative mindset, it drew me more away from that person. The person that didn't mind, it drew me closer to him. The one that had a problem with it, it drew me further away from. And that was just the spirit. I'm just telling you from facts what I went through. So I'm gonna start back up at this point. I just wanted to end right here on that because that just right there just hit my mind. So that's jumping back at the beginning of me and Tanisha's relationship. And now I'm at the end. I'm telling y'all about the the baby, John Nathan. But really, the point I'm telling you right now, which I've forgotten, I'm gonna bring them back. Remember, I said me and Desiree had a long distance, 10-year. I'm saying 10-year relationship. So, but it drew me further away from Desiree, even though I still quote unquote loved her or whatever you want to call it. I knew how I felt about her. But Tanisha, it drew me closer to her. And not only that, I end up understanding. I'm gonna start this back off at part 2. I understand when my mother said, the wife you gonna meet, no, 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 no. That's coming up. But when my biological mother said, I saw your wife, she seen her, but she couldn't see her face. She just said she seen the. She was tall, she was slim, she had long hair, tall, slim, long hair, and light skinned, right? Lighter than us. She was more like a little lighter. She wasn't red bone, but she was more like caramel. So she was kind of like light skinned. She was kind of light skinned. So I realized that person that my mother saw, as I shared with y'all, after the 3 deaths and after my last vision, not that one, the last one of my visions in Mississippi, she said she saw my wife. She had long hair, tall, slim, and tall, slim, long hair, and light skinned. I said it was Tanisha. Tanisha was that person. Why? She didn't see her face. She never met Tanisha. But Tanisha was tall. She wasn't taller than me, but she was tall. She was tall. She was about like this, come up to my eyebrow, my eyes up to my anywhere up to here. She wasn't short. She was tall. She was she was like I said, caramel, kind of light skinned. She had long hair before she cut it. Before she cut it kind of low, and it's probably growing back now. and she's slim. She was slim, right? So that was Tanisha, and that was the situation at that point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this right here for Zoom, and then we're going to end it for Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and we'll be right back in a few moments. And don't forget that I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1 to 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be, waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm that same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwells, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see that Mikael is really me. I thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. Zoom, we pausing you for a few moments. We'll be right back. Thanks, G1, for coming in, and we'll be right back in a few moments with part 2. Peace. All right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. What shall we say? Greetings, 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 family, friends, and the world. This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. Yeah, this is the night after Sunday, which was the November 16, 2025. And this is Fight Fire with Truth. This is Fight Fire with Truth. And this is open conversation. Tonight, we're actually on part 16, 17 and 18 of Life of Mikael, question and answer. 17 and 18. I just went through a little bit of information on what happened when my last son came, me getting with Tanisha, a lot of things within the time of 2012 when me and Tanisha got together, up until we had our child and our child passed, and me having 2 relationships. I had 2 relationships, one with Desiree and one with Tanisha. The beginning of me and Tanisha's relationship, Tanisha understood, and I just wanted to reiterate this before I forget, that when me and Tanisha first got together, we grew together first. And then, I was telling her about Desiree, and she understood polygamy. So she didn't mind me when I went to go see Desiree in Alabama. She didn't mind when I went to go see Desiree. And when I went to go see her, Desiree was upset in the beginning, but she dealt with the relationship at first. But she kept trying to sabotage it when Tanisha, she didn't mind. So just to share with you and to share with all women out there, just to let y'all have an understanding when it comes to men. If you really like the man that you with, and just to share with you, if it comes to a polygamous relationship, and both of you know, because it's not cheating if you know about it. It's not cheating if you know about it. You either accept it or you're going to reject it, but it's not cheating if both parties, if the woman or women, don't make a difference. The women know, but if the man lets the woman know, it's not cheating because you know, and you have not an obligation, but a choice if you want to keep and stay in a relationship with that man, or if you decide that you want to leave. But it all depends on how valuable that man is to you. That's where I see it. So I will tell you this, that when a man has another woman, and if the woman that is all right with it, that really likes, that don't mind the fact and understands the situation in a polygamous relationship, that really draws that man more to that woman. Whether y'all know that or not, it really draws that man, and that man, it's like an attraction that man he have for her, for not allowing, but just accepting our way of life. Is more of an attraction, and the one who is against it is more of a draw away from that person. And I'm telling you by experience. I'm just telling you what I know and what I understand. So by me knowing, by me having two women and me being with one, with me being with both, and I would go and see the one that I was with on a long distance relationship who wanted me for that, and the one that I was with, which is Tanisha, who didn't mind me going to see the long distance relationship. It drew me closer to Tanisha. Um, it drew me closer to Tanisha, and it drew me, and I really loved quote unquote Desiree. I loved her. I mean, I don't know if it was love, infatuation, or what, but I was really head over heels for her. But it drew me more to Tanisha by her allowing and accepting the way of life. So that's just someone telling you from my point of view and from facts, from a man's point of view, right? Now, if you ain't been in that position, you probably don't know about it. People love to speak on stuff they don't know, nor do they understand. They like to speak from the outside in. Unless you get in the position to know the understanding, you don't know or understand. And that's no matter what you do. If you ain't been in it, you don't know. So I try not to speak on what I don't know. I speak on what I know. And that's just me. So like I said, now back to the story when I ended up in part one, which is I shared a lot about my 2012 when me and Tanisha first got together. Not too long into relationship. Actually, I'm seeing her and Desiree. She knew I told her about it. So not too long into relationship, she got pregnant. In her pregnancy, we was going through things, and you're not going through anything, but we was handling things, going through things, learning each other and building. And like I said, I know she got pregnant around about end of February, about around March, late March, mid March or April, something like that, I believe it was. But she got pregnant around that time. Um, so far down into the relationship, I end up getting depressed. I didn't know and didn't understand why I got depressed, but I ended up just getting depressed, at that point. And I didn't understand it, didn't know. I just, I just get to the point where you just go in deep, not understanding certain things. And, and it wasn't because of the pregnancy or anything like that. Maybe it been because I wasn't getting none too. Because after she got pregnant, we couldn't do anything. We just couldn't do it. So that's kind of personal, but it just couldn't do nothing. I don't know why. You know, it wasn't on me. It was just that every time I tried, it hurt her for some reason, and I don't know why. So it is what it is on that. And so throughout the pregnancy, I went to see Desiree maybe once or twice in between that time. But really, we just mostly talked. She called it once in a while because she really was distant because of me and Denise's relationship. So I don't push nothing. It is what it is, you know. And Tanisha didn't mind me talking to her, but see, negative conversation, I got to put this in here. Negative conversation causes a lot to happen as well. So that's the reason why I try to keep things positive. People don't know negative emotions and negative vibration, anything negative will cause a disruption in your not just relationship, just in your life. If you always negative, nothing good gonna come about. Nothing good will come about. If you try to keep everything positive, talk positive, you'll see a great difference compared to negative. All right. And you got to be on point on things that you're speaking about, meaning that stuff that you know, not stuff you don't know or being hypothetical. You just got to be on point with stuff that you know when it comes to that. All right. Um, on through that, like I said, from that point on, she got pregnant. We end up, no, we went throughout the year. Come around January, um, we went to Virginia. I had a vision I just shared. A vision about mainly the vision was about no tolerance, zero tolerance, should I say. And that was about the future. I know it's talking about the future. And not this future that we're coming into now. So that was that vision was about. We had the baby on the 10th of January. He passed on the 20th. We had the funeral on the 21st, on 23rd. 23rd, we had the funeral. Stayed there for a few more days before coming back to Atlanta. Now we was there for a little while. Um, I think this was around the time my niece come up missing as well. My brother and my sister-in-law, uh, their daughter came up missing. And I think this was around right after this, around like in March or April of 2013. Their daughter, my niece, came up missing. Nobody knew how it happened or whatever, but think they think that she got out and she's walking down to go see grandma and grandpa, which is my mother, my biological, my stepfather, should I say, and she got abducted. Um, a lot of things happened in that, but that was in Mississippi. I was still in Atlanta. A lot of things happened around that time. And then after that, and around that time, I think I was beginning to start dancing, and things like that. And then we started doing shows. Jessica Joy, Asante, and Devon. We started doing shows around Atlanta, and we started doing big shows, little shows, a lot of shows we started doing, performing and things like that. And that was throughout the rest of 2013. And then I ended up moving from Tanisha, and I was about to tell a vision as well. I seen a vision before I moved, but me and Tanisha we was kind of growing apart. Couldn't have sex, you know. Um, for whatever reason. It's not on her or me. It was just that we couldn't do it. So I believe it was a blockage or a separation going on anyway. But like I said, my mother saw Tanisha. She said, "I saw your wife." When she said that, as I shared, time passed. Right after I had the vision of the three bad things gonna happen, and something good was gonna happen. Then after that, my mother, my biological mother, said she had a dream. She saw my wife. She was tall, slim, long hair, and light skinned. Junior and my two youngest children, mother had long hair, light skinned, but she was short and she was thick. She was average. She wasn't fat. She was average size, meaning that she was kind of little thick, not fat. But she wasn't tall, and she wasn't and she wasn't and tall, and she wasn't slim. Put it like that. So now we're traveling around Atlanta doing shows, Smooth by His Emotion. Me and Tanisha ended up separating, or we separated. It was kind of separated, but before the separation and after the pregnancy, after the baby, and after the passing and everything that happened, I remember sleeping and I seen a vision. I remember seeing a silhouette of her laying down and this guy creeping over her, like he crawling on top of her, crawling on top of her, and I would be laid down or he kissed her. That was a vision that I had, right? Now, at this time, I don't know if I still never knew there was anything going on before, but I did see him one time. We was going out to gardens getting stuff. I met him. Like I said, I know a lot of people a lot of times. But, we separated. I ended up getting my own apartment. This is when I had the group coming over there and that more people coming over there and I'm teaching them dance moves and we start performing. And like I said, you can always go on YouTube and pull up Smooth Bodies in Motion. You may see us performing there. And you can also look on Facebook. There's a group page that we had called Smooth Bodies in Motion as well. You can go in there and check it out on Facebook. Pull it up, you'll see some of the a lot of stuff that I had posted on there when I had my last. But I'm glad that Asante put it up, because if he didn't put that up when they killed my stuff, they probably would have killed they would have erased all my stuff. They cut me out of Facebook 2 or 3 times. And if they'd have cut that out, they probably wouldn't have been able to. You probably won't be able to go and see the group page there. I'm glad Asante set it up. But and so now I'm at my own place in little West End area, and I got my place in West End. Now this is in the latter part of 2013. Now I'm at the latter part of 2013. Or was it beginning? No, it was the latter part of 2013 or beginning of 2004. No, I think it was the latter part of 2013. I stayed there for almost a year. I was there for almost a year. In 2013, I moved to my apartment in West End area, and I'm still doing my thing. You know, me and Tanisha would see each other off and on. You know, not see each other and do anything. You know, like, hey, how you doing? She'll come by, whatever, whatever. You know, like I said, we was always cool. But now, you know, I'm still seeing a lot of people. You know, I'm just out and about, still doing me, still doing my thing in Atlanta, doing the alkaline water, alkaline teas, and also my drinks. I'm making alkalade, ginger limeade. I was with Tanisha when I started it because she had the the industrial juicer. She had a champion industrial juicer. So that's what I would use. I would make an alkalade, ginger limeade, hot and spicy ginger limeade. It was four different kinds I was making. And I branched off to a few more other drinks. But they would love the hot and spicy and the ginger limeade. Some would like the alkalade because the alkalade is more like alkaline water and more like lemonade made in alkaline water. But ginger limeade with the alkaline water, uh, ginger alkalade or ginger limeade with alkaline water, lemons, excuse me, ginger, agave. Then I add the hot and spicy, which is the cayenne pepper. They'll drink it, they'll be like, they couldn't drink it down, they have to sip on it. Ooh, it was hot, but it was good. It's that hot good. You know what I'm saying? When I mean, it was hot. It was so hot you can see the ginger. I mean the cayenne. It was red. You know, wasn't fiery red, but you can see the ginger. You can see the redness in it. Boy, they would love that. But that was when I had a juicer that I was doing it at that time. At that time, but I was making good sales in that, and see what all else happened around that time. Really doing shows at this time. People come performing. I think I ended up renting my room out to one of the dancers. Her name was um start I think our Earth Day was the same day or was close to it. She was close to my Earth Day. It wasn't Yolanda. Yolanda was another girl that came by and performed one time. I actually got a picture of her with my alkaline teas. Her name was Yolanda. But this girl name was start with an M. I can't think. I can't think of. I can't think. But yeah, we took a lot of different pictures, and I've got this other sister that actually took pictures of us one time too, of other groups and doing different things. So it's coming now. Now it's coming down to the time of August of 2014. Now we're in August of 2014 when the late or latter part of August of 2014 when Akashi, the same one that gave me the reading about, not gave me a reading, but read up on me about Tanisha, she the same one. She was in Detroit at the time. She said, you how did she tell me? She said, they need your waters and teas up here in Detroit. They need your waters and teas up here in Detroit. And I was like, MM the one. What's going on, MM the one? Glad you're here on YouTube Live. She said, they need your waters up here in Detroit. They need your waters up here in Detroit. And she was hanging out at this place over here on 7 Mile and right near the name was Dr. Kiefer, right near the water station. She was hanging out there near the water station, right? Denzel, what's going on, Denzel? I ain't seen you in a minute, bruh. Good to see you, Denzel. Good to see you. Glad you chimed in. Yeah, she was over at the spot. She was telling me about that. When I got here, I went to visit the area, over there near the water station. And like I was saying, is that she said they need your water up here in Detroit. This around mid-August, mid or late August when she called me. And she said, I said, okay, because I had already no, she said that because by her giving me the almost, and she was like gave me the understanding of she read me or whatever she did. She gave me some understanding before when I got with Tanisha. I said, okay, well, I'm gonna check that out. So I made plans and I called my daughter. I said, Michael, I told my daughter, I said, I'm thinking about coming up there for about a month. If it's all right if I stay with you when I come up that way, and she said, yeah, daddy, yeah, it's all right, whatever. So I made plans to go and visit, right? That was because I like to get confirmation before I make a move. So that was late or the end of August. Now, I don't know if there's anything else that happened between this time, but now I'm in my apartment. Now comes in November is coming up. It's the end of August, beginning of November. I used to have practice over at my apartment. And then people come by and then Netter and my boy Maurice. Yeah. Maurice and Netter will come by and we would play cards, me, Asante, Netter and Maurice would play cards. We play spades or I don't know if we playing domino or not or spades. But Netter, me and Netter, me and Netter, boy, we be going at it, but here and there. But at one point, Netter was in the spirit. Now we in the beginning of November. Because I put me going out there, coming to Detroit for quote unquote Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving around that time, I plan on coming to Detroit. So I'm um I'm this is around the beginning of November. And this Netter is in the spirit. You're like, you like, and I'm seeing here in the spirit, like, how? How many children do you got? How many? I said, I got 6 children. He said, no, how many girls do you have? How many girls do you have? He was in the spirit. Spirit was like I could see that I seen it because I understood because I've been there before. He said, how many girls you got? I said, I got 3. He said, where they at? Where he was just in. He was like, where they at? I said, I got 2 in Detroit. I got one in California. He said, the girls in Detroit, they all right. The one in California need wait, hold. The one in California, before he said the one in California needs you. But before he said how old are they? I think my girls was 23 and 25 at the time. And I think Natasia was 12. That was my youngest one. She was 12. And he said, well, the ones in Detroit, they're good. The ones in California, she needs. You said, wait, hold, wait. The one in California, she all right. She gonna be all right. The good daughters in Detroit, they need you, right? I said, oh, okay. He said, oh yeah, and the woman you're gonna meet her in Detroit, and she gonna be with you. Woman you meet, you're gonna meet her in Detroit, and she gonna be with you. Then he said, and also God got big plans for you. So that was the second time that was told to me, God got big plans for me. The first time it was told to me in a vision in 98, and I shared that earlier in time past in the earlier videos. But this was the second time that was said to me. The first time it was in the vision. The second time was in the spirit. He was in the spirit. The third time it was um it was physical. It was physically told me the third time. That was in 2018. So now, okay, now my daughter don't know I'm coming to move. Now I'm getting set. Now I'm getting storage ready, I'm getting everything ready. I'm getting prepared and getting myself together to go to move because I was already doing at this time. Matter of fact, since 2012, I don't think 2011. I might have been doing it in 2011, but definitely in 2002. Maybe in 2011, but definitely in 2012, I was doing banquet serving. I was banquet serving, being a server. So I was banquet serving since 2012. I know. I could have been doing it in 2011 at the same time, but I was definitely doing that as well. And when I'm doing that, I was doing it on my own time. So anytime they call me or text me and ask me, excuse me, if I want to work, it was up to me to say yes or no, you know. So and I like that. That's when I really like. I said, okay, but I hadn't worked a 9 to 5. I can't remember the last time I worked a 9 to 5. I can't remember the last time. If anything, that might have been back in 2008, 2009. And if 2008, I remember the big. I ain't gonna call it depression, but something was going on then. I really didn't know too much about because I was still doing my waters and teas. I may have been doing something then. I don't remember, but it's been a long time since I did a 9 to 5. But or a job clocking in. No, because I clocked in for that, but that was on my own time when I was doing it for banquet serving, which is being a server. So so when he told me that he said that this around beginning of November, end of October, beginning of November. He said your daughters need you. The woman you meet, you're gonna meet her in Detroit, and she's gonna be with you. And God got big plans for you, right? So now I'm like, okay, bam. Now I'm setting up, getting ready to move back to Detroit. My daughter don't know I'm moving because I told her I'm coming for a month, right? I'm thinking, okay, I'm thinking it's gonna move fast. Okay, now, I'm gonna move to Detroit. I'm gonna get a banquet serving job because you can get a banquet serving job easy. Banquet serving. I don't know how it is today because I haven't done it in a while, but you can do it easy. You got a lot of banquets that people you can go and get a job like that. But um, my mind was I'm gonna get a banquet serving job, get set up, uh, move my daughter, give her for about a month, save up some money, get my own place. That was my plan. It didn't happen like that, but that was my plan. And she didn't know I was moving. So before I left, I put all my stuff up in storage, came to Detroit. Now we back home. Now I'm back home. This is the end of November. Now I'm back home for quote unquote Thanksgiving, 2014. So now I'm back home. Now I'm staying with my daughter, right? I'm staying with my daughter. And we out in Clinton Township. So she been out there for a while. She been out there for some years. So I'm staying with her. I got a room with her, you know, building time because now, I haven't been around my children. I've seen them a couple of times. I've been coming back home and going back and forth while I was in Atlanta, going back and forth. When I see my boy Matt, spend time with my daughters and then go back to Atlanta. But I haven't been home. I left in 93, came back the end of left the beginning of 93, came back the end of 2014. Right. That's a long time gone. My daughters grew up. Try to keep in contact with them, but thankful that my oldest daughter, her grandmother reminded or told her about me so she can have a better thoughts of who I was because their mother was poisoning them from me. You know, how y'all know how things was. It's getting better in this day and time because men are beginning to stand up. But y'all knew how we men, all the stuff we went through, and I didn't even want to leave. But you know, I believe that this whole journey was meant for me to go through. So now I'm back in Detroit. 22 years, I like to say 22 and a half years, but 22 years, I believe, altogether. I believe. I just counted up like that. 22 years I've been gone. Now I'm back home, staying with my daughter. Now I'm trying to help and this and that. And now they mothered and poisoned and told them all kinds of things about me and this and that and what I did and the type of person I am and, whatever she told them. not knowing that I sent them all kind of stuff from Europe when I was in Europe, sending stuff, sending toys, clothes, blankets, uh, doll houses, swings, uh, uh, um, what you call water guns, all kind. I even sent my daughter, one of my daughters, a doll house, and I also sent my daughter call it one of them cars, the battery operated car. I sent that from Germany. I sent all kinds of, I mean, all kinds of stuff. And do you know the mother took the credit? She took the credit and said that I never dated you. I said, you did that? When I finally had a chance to sit down and talk to him, yeah, I said, I sent you all kinds of stuff. You did? They were shocked. They didn't even know that I was sending that stuff to them. I was like, man, the wickedness though, bro. You can really think of how wicked people can be. Some people, I'm not talking about all people, some people can be wicked. So, trying to keep in contact with them, trying to build a rapport with them. And the mother got me one day. She pulled that, and really she didn't. It was the fact that she over my daughter's house. They trying to go to a graduation or something like that, and I'm trying to help them out. I got my phone. I'm trying to help them on GPS, trying to get to where they're going or whatever they're trying to get. And then she snatched my phone. I get up and say, "Girl," and my daughter said, I said, do that. I was like, man, boy, like she got terrified. Like, man, what they said was true. That way she looked. What she been saying is true because she knew how to put. She triggered me in front of them on purpose, knowing what she was doing. You know, she good at smart mouth and she got that slick tongue and she knew how to pull she pulled me out right then. I ain't trying to do nothing to her. It was just that girl, would you sit up there? You know, I'm trying to help you and you I'm trying to help, and all she trying to do is prove to them something. And I'm like, you know, it's my daughter. Then that right there is like whatever rapport, it went all the way back down to the ground. So I had to real build that back up, still kind of today almost. But um one of the acquaintances, well, two of them actually, where I kind of grew up dancing with. I call them acquaintances now because um, one of them don't act like a friend, you know, because I won't bow to his, I won't bend to his like everybody bow to him. I don't do that. He moved up since I was gone. It was me, Matt, Peabody, and Kedia started the group. We started the group. Everybody else came along. And this brother, I ain't gonna say no name, but this brother right here, he's supposed to be the man in the group now, you know. They the group, I've been gone, you know, they still want me to dance with them though, because they know my dancing ability. They still would like for me to dance with them, but they want to use me, my talent, you know, I ain't saying I'm all that, but they want to use my talent and use me. But then I'm telling them, check this out. I remember when they wanted me to get with the group. And I said, well, I got a group in Atlanta too, you know. So, I'm trying to set up. I remember I was trying to set up something called um the Detroit Atlanta or Atlanta Detroit connection. I was trying to set something up. That's what I was trying to do. The Atlanta Detroit connection, where I get with the Unstoppables, which was their name. They're not together anymore. The Unstoppable Dancers, and I had Smooth Eyes in Motion. I was going to try to connect Unstoppables and try to build with them and move them, have them come in Atlanta, and we'd be doing shows in Atlanta and doing shows in Detroit. Smooth Eyes in Motion was still under me because we had set up shows before I left. So I was still going back and forth from Atlanta to Detroit, from Atlanta to Detroit. I'm still going back at least 2 to 3 times a year. That's what I was doing, you know. And we would get together and chill out in Atlanta when I would go back. But when I was staying back, I was back home in Detroit. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I'm getting with them and they trying to tell me, well, well, suppose, I said, well, I still got a group in Detroit, really we're more like friends in Atlanta, but we get together, we dance, but we're more friends than really a group. So in Detroit, we're more a group and friends at that time because we was like brothers and we like brothers. We did everything together in Detroit back when I was coming up. But now everybody got family, so they still the group, but they still friends. But the ones in Atlanta, they're friends of mine, and we was a group, but we was more friends than a group. We did a lot of stuff together, but we was more friends than we was a real dance group, right? So, but the ones in Detroit would be more of a group and family, if you understand what I'm saying. So they trying to pull me in with them, and they like, well, that's a conflict of interest. I said, what's a conflict of interest? Well, you dance with us, you dance with another group. I said, how is that a conflict of interest? Well, suppose we got a show at the same time. I said, that'll be up to me. I'm the one who's over that group down there. How we gonna have a show at the same time? But the whole thing was people try to talk and try to think you know how people try to be slick and talk and stuff and think you're stupid? I'm not dumb. You know what I'm saying? It's just that they want to control. Someone wants to control you, so they don't try to talk to you. And say, well, that'd be a conflict of interest. And from that point on, the one that I told you that's supposed to be the leader, I ain't giving no names. The one that's supposed to be the leader, his disdain really just kind of like he really because I stood my ground. You know what I'm saying? I stood my ground. I don't let nobody rule me, dog me, think they're going to try to belittle. They ain't belittle me, but they try to belittle my mindset. I believe try to talk to me like I'm dumb and not talk to me like I'm dumb, but the way you would think that the conversation went, it would be presentable and it would be. I just see a lot of selfishness. I put it like that. It was selfish. You want me to get with you and just forget everything I'm doing. You don't know what I'm built and put together down there. So you want me to just get with y'all, and that's what it is. And what selfishness. You see what I'm saying? Selfishness. So, and there's a lot more than that I seen that I don't speak on. There's a lot more of that than I seen that I didn't speak on. But the whole point on is that when a person is selfish, you can see it. You know what I'm saying? And and it's controlling. They want to be controlled. I don't let nobody control me. The only person control me is the creator. That's the only one. And he control me. I do his words, his laws, his will. That's it. Ain't nobody controlling me. You try to tell me what I can and can't. Who you think you is? I'm a man. You know, been places, done that, traveled. You know, so mainly it was just more like it was more standoffish from that point. So now I will say one of the brothers in the group, he kept in contact with me. But I would say both of these two, the brother I'm about to say, I call Lil Mike. He kept in contact. He still keep in contact, call me every so often now, But the other brother, when we was really connected when I came when I got back, you know. Oh, my baby. Say, hey, Dad. Uh, love you, sending love. My baby Kadena. Dad, what story are you telling? You're getting off track. She ain't here. I ain't see her. I'm telling my story, baby. I'm telling my life story. If you look up there, you'll see the number that's up top. Oh, that's Kadena. That's my second oldest baby. Oh, my baby came on and said she loved me. I love you too, baby. Miss you. Ain't seen you in a minute. Let me see. First, oh yeah, she joined. My baby. That's my oldest baby. I ain't seen her nowhere. My second oldest baby. Ain't seen her in a minute. But as I was saying, is that yeah, one thing that they told me, both of them, Lil Mike and the acquaintance, he told me, he said, they both said, well, he said, don't put the horse in front of the cart. Don't put the cart in front of the horse. take your time. You got to get, God, I'm telling them how I'm trying to get close and get into my children's life, even though I'm with them. It was like, he said, yeah, you got to get your own place. And once you get your own place, once you get your this and that, they was telling me what right. Get your place, get your job, get you a place, get you a woman, and everything he said was right on point. But sometimes when you're just trying to rush to get what you want, trying to get to know your children, trying to get the love back, and trying to do so much. I'm just getting back. It's like when you just waking up or somebody throw cold water on you, waking them out of sleep. Oh, that's what I'm trying to do, trying to get my life together. You know what I'm saying? So now I didn't start. I got a banquet position. I got a banquet job, right? I got that. I got a banquet job. I started doing that. I'm doing that around town, going different places. Um, so I started doing that. I'm still staying with my oldest girl, Michael. Still staying with her. Um, so but I'm still going back to Atlanta, going to Detroit. Back to Atlanta to Detroit. Now, hang with my people there and come here. Now, I'm not really with the Unstoppables, but now I'm doing shows with them, putting money in. Now we're doing shows together. That wasn't really what I expected, but you know, we do a little something. Had a little crowd come in, what have you. They had gained a big name here in Detroit since I've been gone. The Unstoppable, they gained a big name and notoriety here in Detroit, Michigan, while I was gone, while I was on my hiatus, or while I was touring or traveling, or when I was gone for the 22, I'd say 22 and a half, however many years it was. But now I'm back. Now I'm banquet serving, doing what I'm doing. Now, at the end of 2000, I'm going back and forth. I'm being back and forth to Atlanta 2 or 3 times from 2014, now 2015. Back to Atlanta, back to Detroit. Back to Atlanta, back to Detroit. Going, and then now it's coming to, right. I went to Atlanta and I was on my boy Atune house, right? He was really heavy into the Moorish way of life, to the Moors. He was really heavy into Moors, right? Matter of fact, me and him was going to get together and we was going to make another after I did this with Calvin, and then he kind of slipped everything from me. Me and him got together. And I was going to do one called Paperwork First, and me and him was going to get, because he learned and he knew the paper, the information pretty good. I was still learning at that time. That was back in, this is like 2000. Yeah, got 2009. It's 2010. I had panel of the Moore Society. This is like 2012, 2013 as well. No, not 2013. It was like about 2012 or something like that. But when I would come to visit him back, when I came to visit him, this was like the end of 2000, going into the end of 2015. It was like in November of 2015. So coming back and forth, going back to the Atlanta and Detroit. Now I'm over at Toon's house, right? And me and Atune talking, then my boy, my man Edwin Wilson, elder, used to come to both of them used to come to my Sarvin classes, right? Back in 2009, in 2009 into 2010. Now Edwin called me, and I'm over, and this is over there. How was it? Count. It's a main road over there on the west side, but I can't think of the name right now. Start with a C, not Continental or whatever. Continental, is it Continental? Something like that. But he was standing over that way, and Edwin called me and he told me, Juice, man, man, you gotta, this Dr. Henderson, man, this index, you gotta get index, man. Man, you gotta get index. Man, indexing, man, I got stopped by the cops, and the cops just told me to have a nice day. I'm out here in Tennessee, he got laying a place in Tennessee. He's an elder. Now he's older. He's an older man, he's older than me. About maybe 10, 15 years, maybe. I don't know. But he's maybe. But he said, yeah, man, you gotta get index, man. Yeah, man, I got stopped by the cops and they just told me to have a nice day. I said, really? I said, okay. Didn't take it too serious. Didn't say I didn't pay attention because I don't put down things, but I take my time when I like confirmation. Father give me confirmation or something. So he called me a couple more times. Now that was the end of 2015. He didn't call me too. Oh man. Now he called me 2 or 3 times. No, you gotta get index, man. You ought to check this indexing out, man. Dr. Henderson and this, that. So and then he sent me information. So I started reading up on it a little bit, checking out a little bit, trying to see what he talking about. Yeah, man, this indexing is it. Index, man. You gotta get index. You gotta get index. I'm like, okay. I see about, I'll check it out. This is 2015. Now we're going into 2016. I'm back in Detroit. He called me a few more times. Man, you gotta get an index, man. You ought to get an index, man. You ought to come on down. And this and that. Dr. Henderson, this and that about Dr. Henderson. And he gave me, like I said, I did my research. I started understanding from the little bit he gave me and getting more information, right? Now, all this time, when I was learning the more, not the more, but the information. See, a lot of people put more in the solving information together. More is a people that taught the Caucasian what they have, and that people got to separate the knowledge. They put it together and don't realize it's separate things, but coincide together. So this is what I'm telling you on but this is what I come to understand at this time. But when you say more, you just think about sovereign. You're sovereign when you're free. That's what sovereign means. But yeah, but you kept telling me this and that. So now I'm in Detroit. You tell me this and this and this again. So now this is around January. Now it's Queen Mother. This is January 2016. Queen Mother that I knew, beautiful woman that I knew, elder. I ended up running to her when now I'm over my great. I'm staying with my auntie. At this time, I'm staying with my auntie because I didn't move with my daughter. Now I'm still with my daughter. Matter of fact, I think I was over my auntie house. My auntie asked me to come over there for a little while or what have you. Because I remember being over there because to go to what's this woman's name? She used to have a place right off Woodward near between Highland and Glendale. Between Highland and Glendale, she had a place off Woodward. I can't think of her name right. Not Lucy. Her name Lucy. Was it Lucy? I don't know if her name was Lucy or something like that. But she had a place off Woodward between Highland and Glendale. And I would go up there all the time because they would have what they call it, open mics. So I happened to going up there and I seen her, I was Queen Mother outside. I said, hey, Queen Mother, how you doing? She said, hey, I'm doing all right. I just come from getting indexed. I said, what? I just come from getting indexed. So when she said that, it was bing. I said, okay, all right. Now, something is going on now. Everyone been talking to me about it. Now she tell me she just got indexed, and that's what everyone been talking about. Let me go ahead and really get into this. Now everything start coming to me. The plane trip, the made a plane reservation came to me simple. Uh, got a hotel where everybody probably at, came to me simple. Everything started falling in line. I said, this is my confirmation. I'm supposed to be going out here to Texas to get indexed, right? So now the indexing, this is where we are now. The point about indexing. So Edwin telling me about indexing in 2015 into 2016. Queen Mother tell me she just went and got indexed. Now I'm finding out more information about it. I went and got my plane ticket. Well, not when it got. I ordered my plane ticket online. Everything I did online to get together. Next thing you know, oh yeah, I gotta tell y'all something that's coming up. Some more stuff that I'm about to share with you. So now, um, I get my plane ticket and everything set up. Now we're in February. February, I ended up going out to Dallas, flying out to Dallas. Get out to Dallas. Um, I don't know. I was staying with my auntie for some reason at this time. I wasn't staying with her. I think I was just over there because when I came back home, Even if either I was staying there and I went back to visit my daughter after I got back, because there's a reason why I'm about to tell you this. And this is what my wife saw me for the first time, and the information I was sharing. Um, flew out to Dallas, had a good time there, got to know everybody, got to meet I did meet Dr. Henderson. He had a mask on though. We had met Dr. Henderson, met Shelley Bowling, the administrator. Made a lot of friends out there, got a lot of numbers, shared my alkaline water, filled up a 5-gallon tank, put it up there for everybody to drink the alkaline water, put the alkaline water, I'll keep my machine with me everywhere I go. Went out there on that. Just made a lot of friends, got numbers, met people that across the country. And then was there for 2 or 3 days, came back home. Actually got my first card there too. With my first card. Nobody was supposed to know about it, but I ended up getting my first card there. And the brother that made it, his name was Al Malik. Let me see if I got it in here. No, I think I've shared it already too, many few times. See if I got it on here. Thought I had it sitting out here, but I put some stuff in here coming up. Oh, no, it's not right here, Dan. Well, I usually have it in my wallet, but I took it out purposely. All right, so I don't have it right here. Must be on one of my other, because we moved some, as you can see, we're moving upstairs. This is our new office. So we up here in the upstairs room, as you can see. So we making this our new office. So it's not here. It must be in one of my other boxes that I have up here. But my first card that I got that I had, and had that for a while when I was out there. From there, I had it from that point until here until now. So now now I'm back. No, now I ain't back yet. I'm there for a few days because I'm going to share this with you. I think the second, or it wasn't the third day, about the second day or second night, Dr. Henderson came up and visited us. It was a group of us in the hotel room, right? And yeah, in the hotel room. Dr. Henderson came up, him and a couple of people came up. They visited. He had like about maybe a 2 hour conversation. We sat down, we sat, talked about the scriptures, excuse me, talk about things going on, what was happening, and things to happen, and things, from things that he was sharing and stuff like that. So we all had a conversation, nice conversation, or what have you. He was, like I say, he was there for about 2 hours. We all talked. That was my first and only time actually seeing him, you know. Excuse me. First and only time seeing him. Um, Twice. He was there at the at the meeting, writing everybody's name in the book of life and everything. And then he came up into the room later on that night or the next following day where we was at. Now, the ironic thing is this. Um, the ironic thing is this. Um, about maybe 20 to 30 minutes after he leave, I get a phone call from a young lady. I'm saying young lady, from a lady. It was a lady actually. Lady that I met at Myers. I met her at a Myers. This like Myers' grocery store here in Detroit. At a Myers that and it was like I was walking and I seen her. You know how you see somebody but you don't. So I seen her, and then I walked. Then I end up walking down. I don't know if I came down that way. I walked down another area, But I ended up just speaking to her. Me and her had a conversation. It was like it was meant for me to talk to her. It was meant for me to talk to her, right? I'm not gonna say no names, but it was meant for me to talk to this woman at this time. So now I got to meet her, got a number. So we just connected, no trying to talk to each other like that. Like I said, I meet people all the time. I talk to people. So we talk, connected, talk, and just have just a conversation. So I'm in, this was before, long before I came to, but I was staying with my auntie at the time. So it was over the Myers over in off of Woodward, and 8 Mile is the Myers I was at when I met her. So I was in Highland Park at the time, staying with my auntie when I went to Myers when I met this lady. I'm sharing this because now this was early, maybe a month, weeks or a month. It wasn't a long time because we didn't know each other that good, but maybe a few weeks or maybe a month and a half within the time that I met her. Now, after about 2 hours, about 20 minutes after Dr. Henderson left, she calls me. Now it's late. It's like about, okay, our time is like about 11, 12 o'clock. Now in Detroit, it might have been 1 or 2 because they're about 2 hours. Texas, I believe there might be an hour or 2 hours. I know we're an hour ahead of Mississippi, so maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours in Texas. I don't know. We're in Dallas, Texas. But she called me, and I'm thinking it's kind of late for her to call me. Whatever, this late. Ain't like that. But she just called me, and y'all, I'm about to go through a story and tell y'all some stuff right now. So, and I'm about to give you the understanding to what happened. Not understanding, but I'm about to tell you a story. And this is really what happened. You know, what happened was this. I'm talking to the lady. We're having a conversation. And everybody's in there still talking after Dr. Henson left. So I just went out in the hallway. So I went out the hallway. It was like a little couch down there. I went down the hallway. I said, me and her just conversation. She was like, just conversation. She just started talking. And um, she must be going through something, but she was just talking. Next thing you know, her voice started rumbling. I'm like, I started getting chill, like, what's going on? I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on? It was a demonic, what's going on? Serious. Serious. I'm telling y'all, serious. I was shocked. I was shocked. This the second time I faced something like this, but this was over the phone, and I never heard nobody voice come out like this. I don't know if I shared with y'all when I was in Atlanta, this happened with a young lady's son that I knew for 18 years. I think I shared that in time past. But now this woman, I'm like, whoa, I get kind of nervous. So I went on to just, so I go inside. I see, y'all listen to this. So I'm talking to her, and she like she come in and she come out. She come in and she come out. So I'm talking to her. I go back. She start. So I went in. I said, y'all listen to this. I put that mug on speaker. They hear it. Everybody looking. So this brother named Paul, he was supposed to be a disciple of Dr. Henderson, right? So Paul, he took the phone. He started talking to her in another language. He just started talking to the demonic spirit. He was talking to it, and then they were like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Next thing you know, you heard say, "Oh, I feel good." It was like he talked the demon, whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but it was shocking. I'm telling you from experience. It was shocking to me to sit up and see this. This woman over the phone, and he talking, he communicating, and it was like he was talking in whatever spirit he was talking was, and the spirit got out of her. And she's like, "Oh, I feel good. I feel light. I feel light. I feel good." That's what she was saying over the phone. I said, "You all right?" He said, "Yeah, I feel good. What's going on? What's going on?" He said, "It looks dark in here." It's dark in here. That's what she said. It's dark. Then she said, she said, I seen these red lights, these red eyeballs looking at me. These red eyeballs looking at me. She said, but before that, she said the room was dark, and she said the darkness was over the television. She couldn't see the television. It looked like a dark film was over the television. The whole room was dark. Then she happened to look up. She seen these red eyeballs looking at her. Then next thing you know, she started talking like that again. So he talked back to her, and they both going back and forth again. Then I guess it got out of her, and I guess it left. I guess the spirit, I don't know what, but it was shocking to me. I was shocked to see it, not to see it, to see it and hear it. To see him get on and he started talking, and she, boy, that was something. Still shocking me today. But people do get demonically possessed, but that was something. So after that, I recorded it though. I recorded it off on the phone that I had at the time, but I recorded it. I don't know if I had two phones or if I just push recorded at the time while all this was going on. So, mine came to me today to call somebody. So, after that, that was just an experience that me and everybody in the room experienced that night, right? So after that, I think we stayed a day or two. We was there for a weekend, so it wasn't a day or two. So we was there for the weekend. After that, and I'm coming back home. On my way home, now it felt like all that knowledge about the being sovereign, all that knowledge is whatever I did know, it like it poured into me after getting indexed. It like it poured into me. So now I'm at the airport. I'm like, I'm talking to a couple people. I said, yeah, we just did this getting indexed. And I started talking about being a product. He said, we like a product. You like a barcode. Just like if you are you're a product. And this is what I did. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I shared this with somebody when I was at the airport. I went from Dallas. I think I went to Houston. Went to Houston to Detroit. I think that's how I went. But I made it back home. Then when I made it back home, I actually shared that I think to two people while I was out because they poured into me. Then when I got home, I ended up going back to my daughter's house, and this is why I made "You Are a Product." I actually, and it's in my Instagram, but you have to go way down into my history to see it. Way down, because this is way back near the beginning, practically near the beginning of my Instagram. But excuse me. What I shared was this. You are a product. And I actually put it on Facebook. So it's one of my ex-Facebook pages. I said, you are a product. And I started breaking it down. I had all white on. I had my white, ooh, look at that. I had my white t-shirt on with my logo. My Choose Life logo. Yeah, I was seeing it. That's my logo. I had all white with that logo on it, right? And I was breaking down. I called it "You Are a Product." And what I was saying is, just imagine if you it's a store, right? The store have shelves. The shelves has product on it, right? And each product has a barcode. Each product has a barcode, and each barcode has all the information about you or not you, about the product in it, right? And how many products it is, or what have you. So I said, I just let him know, I said, you are a product. I said, your birth certificate is your barcode. No. I said, your birth certificate and your social security card and your ID card is your barcode. This is how they know. I said, they know your birth, they know your birth certificate, your ID card, and within those numbers, they have your all your information from the womb to the tomb. All your information is in that barcode. I said, you are a product. And I said, imagine United States being four walls, United States being the store. and each person is a product in that store. I forgot how I broke it down, but that's how I mainly broke it down. And Joanne told me, she said that's the first time she said it was interesting the way I broke it down. She said that really caught her attention. That caught her attention. When she first saw me do that. We wasn't nowhere even in each other's eyesight at the time. But she saw me on Facebook when I did that, right? That was in 2016. After I made it back from getting indexed, right? So like I said, it just poured into me. So and now I'm back on the knowledge information. Always been on it, but I'm getting more serious and getting more into it now, get more in tune. So now learning this, building, and just learning more information. So now it's 2016, and I'm building, and now I'm banquet serving again. Now I'm back banquet serving and everything as well. I'm just living life in 2016. I don't know what happened in 2017, what I may have done, but I'm just living life. Now come we doing show. Remember, I said with the group, we doing show. I'm doing show with them. I'm not really dancing with them because they separate unstoppable dancers and unstoppable entertainment. Two separate things. Unstoppable entertainment and unstoppable dancers is the dance group. Unstoppable entertainment is the entertainment company. I'm Juice Productions. That's my entertainment company. And Smooth Vibes in Motion is my group that I have in Atlanta. So when we do shows, they put Unstoppable Entertainment and Juice Productions when we would do our shows or whatever together, right? So, it went the way it went. We did a few things together. It was all right. But Lil Mike, he started keeping in contact with me I think it was after I got my place, after I got my first place. And I didn't get my first place until 2000, was it 16 or 17? No, it was after my father passed. Because my father, he passed in 2017. He got his apartment in 2016. I moved in with my father. And that was May. See, everything's coming around because I was staying with my auntie. First, I was staying with my cousin Kevin for a minute. I was staying with my cousin Kevin when I went to be flown to go do my indexing. That's what it was. Cause my daughter, sure did. Cause I was gonna, yeah, I don't know, I was gonna grab my daughter by the throat. And you know how sometimes she didn't know it, but I was gonna give it because some people can disrespect you and they may not know it and then they may know it. But the fact is it was something going on and she was with her second child's getting to know her uh 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 second child's father. And I was in the room and I'm hearing this noise going on out there. And I'm like, so I stick my head out the door. She stick her head out the bathroom. So we right here. And then I'm like, well, what's going on? What's happening? And she gonna look out and she gonna say, shut my door. Boy, when she said that, man, I felt that was disrespectful. I don't care who you my child. I almost lost it. I looked at her. I shut that door, and when I was in that room, I was livid in that room. I wanted to go out there and grab her, but I said, no, I gotta get out of here. That's when I moved from there. I moved. I told my cousin Kevin, and I moved with him. Right. So I was moving him at this time. So I was with him when I went to go get indexed. But I was with and then after I got indexed, I was with them for so long that I moved with my auntie. And then because I don't know if I moved with her twice, or I just stayed with her for a minute because she liked it for me to help her out with stuff. So which is Butch and Joe's mother. Butch is when I went to their mother. I stayed with her for a minute because sometimes she wanted me to come and just do stuff around the house. So that might have been why I was with her when I ran into Queen Mother. I might have been with her staying at the house for a few days, whatever, because I was helping her around the house doing some type of chores or fixing something up, the roof or the building or whatever it was. That's probably why I was there. at that time when I ran into Queen Mother. But I was staying with Kevin. Yep. I was staying with Kevin at the time. And when I made the move, when I went to Texas. Then when I came back, I was out there with her to visit my daughter's house when I made that video, You Are a Product. So I went out to my daughter's house to visit when I seen him at that time. So that's what it was. I'm looking at everything going on. So my cousin Kevin is who I was staying with at the time when I went to go get Index. Then after that, I ended up staying with my auntie before I got my apartment. And when I got my first apartment, I was there. I was there, and I was there as well as that's when my brother, let's say my daddy, got his place in May of 2016. I stayed with him until he passed, which was a year, which is in 2017. May of 2017 is when he passed. You know, my daughters and my grandbabies came to the funeral, what have you. They came to the funeral and the repast. Um, and then from there, that's when I ended up getting my own place. No, from Daddy, I think from Daddy, I moved with my auntie Pat. And then from Pat, I ended up getting my own place. And after I got my own place from there, um, while I was there, this was my brother Matt and his wife got together. And I'm coming to around to the end of everything. Matthew and his wife got together. After Matthew and his wife got together, well, they was already together, but they was getting married. Matter of fact, their marriage was June 15th, 2017. June 15th was 2017. June 15th, 2017 is when they got married. Now, in between that time when we was getting to when I was one of the best men. I think he had the whole group as best man. But me and Matthew, even though we was good friends, we were more like brothers than friends. So we've always kept in contact. He was my best friend, but he was like a brother to me as well. So we always called each other brothers. You know, his mama is like my mom. You know what I'm saying? So me and Matt, I got Matt started doing banquet serving and things as well. Matthew started doing banquet serving with me, and then in the process in their marriage, we started doing the how you go down and doing the arrangements and everything for the wedding. Now me and Joanne is beginning to we begin to do anything. Um, what happened was around the time of the wedding, getting everything together, um, she I ended up having the bouquet, and I was just looking at it. But she took a picture of me looking at the bouquet because it had all kind of sparkly things. I was just looking at it. She took a picture of me like that. I said, "Don't show that to nobody," But after that, I think what it was that what got me and her together, what it was is this. Her sister said, "Joanne like you." I said, "What?" Joanne like you. I said, "You just talk." Joanne like. I said, "Okay, well, we'll see." I didn't pursue her, nothing like that. Um, I think that same day or a time later, she said Joanne wanted to, because Joanne liked my alkaline water when she first back in 2008, 2009, when I bring my machine up and I visit up here and I was staying with Matt at the time, she took me to go visit their family and I did the demonstration and everything. And she started getting the water for me then, but I was gone. But I came back, she started getting the water from me. So she got 3 gallons from me. And but she said that I hugged her money out of her because she's gonna get 1 gallon. But I told her, well, at that time it was one for I think at that time it was 1 for 5, 3 for 10 at that time COVID, before COVID, before everything went up. So I said 1 for 5, 3 for 10. So she ended up getting one. I said, okay, and I gave her a hug. I said she went ahead and got the other two. She only had $10 or $15 on her, but she got the other two. And I don't know if it was at that time. I don't know if it was at that time when Bettina said Joanne like you, or she said it before or after that. I don't remember. But she said, Joanne like you. I said, really? Didn't pursue it or whatever. Went through with the marriage ceremony. Everything happened. Everything went through. We took pictures and everything. So now, either the night of the wedding, either the night of the wedding or it was the night of the wedding or it was something. Not the night of the wedding. I just know me and Joanne would have a little conversation here and there. And I would tell you, we get on. I think at this time we was getting on the Bible, or we was talking outside. I mean, we was talking outside at Matthew and Bettina house. Me and Joanne was out there talking. So we out there talking, and Matt said, Mike, how that gonna work? Say, you Muslim, Joanne Christian, that ain't gonna work, whatever. And he didn't know me and her was already beginning to kind of connect a little bit. He didn't know. Well, we were just getting to connect. If that was the beginning of me and her beginning to start connecting. So me and her would have conversations. I don't think we talk over the phone much, but we probably would. But then I tell them I have dance classes. So now I'm doing dance classes at um my boy Strings. My boy Strings, he had a studio that he'd been doing for years, back since 2005 when I came and visited, and I remember seeing that's why he the first one told me about jalapenos and on the pizza. Jalapeno and pineapple and jalapeno, sweet and hot, on the pizza. And I've been getting mine like that ever since. I liked it, when I got a pizza. But yeah, my boy Strings, what was his name? Hardcore Detroit. Y'all can look up Hardcore Detroit as well and check that out. My boy Strings, cool brother, tall, break dance, jit and everything. His name, you call him Strings, right? So now I'm there doing dance. I'm doing my little dance class in a little area in his room, in this place. And she's coming and she said she wanted to try to lose a little weight and stuff like that. So you come my dance class, you'll lose some weight, but and get in shape. So she was coming. It was helping me. It was helping her. We would start talking every once in a while. Some people would come, sometimes people wouldn't. But she was dedicated. She came all the time. Then me and her would have conversations afterwards sometime. She asked me questions and we'd talk. Not ask questions, we just have conversation. I say, well, this and that is in the Bible. And no, it ain't. Say, yes, it is. No, it ain't. Yes, it is. Where's that? And I tell her to go check it out. She'll go and say, oh, okay, it's there. Next thing that we have conversation, she'll say, that ain't in the Bible. Yes, it is. No, it ain't. Yes, it is. No, it ain't. Go ahead and check it out. She'll see it. Say, oh, okay. Then she did that several times. Then it got to the point when she said, is that in the Bible? And I said, yeah. I said, where is that? Then she just go check it out instead of saying, no, it ain't, because she seen every time I said something, it was fact. Then, we was getting to know each other. I had my own place this time. Now she's taking me home sometime. Usually I was catch the bus across town because I was closer on the east side to where it was because it was on Cass near downtown. But now I'm coming I'm coming from Telegraph. So I'm catching the bus over there. So she was like, give me a ride home. I said, okay, cool, gave her some change here and there. Now we're getting to know each other. She looking scriptures up. We talk scripture. And really that's me and her foundation, the creator. The scriptures is our foundation. And every man and woman should have a foundation of their relationship. Something that not just sex, something that you do together, that y'all know together or build together, or if the woman just want to be a part of the man's world, it should be a foundation for your relationship. And I'm just going to give y'all that. So now we're starting to get to know each other and we're building a relationship. And that's where it comes. And then, like I said, when it was told to me, and like the two acquaintances, which were friends. Well, one is more, both of them is more of acquaintance, but somewhat friends. But like they said, they told me, get your place, get yourself together, and get everything together, and everything else gonna fall in place, which end up happening. So, in a sense, this is the end of the story because I'm with Joanne now. Everything has happened, and it was told to me, if the woman you're gonna meet her in Detroit. Oh, I didn't get to something that I should get to. I'm just gonna share. But I will say this, that's in 2017, we're growing. At the end of 2017, which in 2000, my sister Irene came to visit. And well, actually, me and Joanne's first, I call it our first date anniversary, our first date. Our first date, one anniversary, but our first date was in the first what they call it, the time, because our anniversary of our first date anniversary is always when the clock falls back. That was our first date anniversary. When the clock, we didn't know, but it was a friend of mine to get teas and stuff from me, and waters. She had her own barbershop named Donna. Uh, um, they have parties every year at that time, and we was invited to come out. I invited her to come to me out that time, and not knowing that is always the time of when the clock falls back. So in 2017 was our first date when the clock fell back, and and we held that every year as our first date anniversary. So that was our first date anniversary every year from that point on. Later on that year in 2017, my sister Irene came to visit. She came to visit. She was staying with me at the time. She got to see the family and everybody, and me and Joanne always got together with her side of the family, which is my step my step family, which is my stepfathers and their family, which is still family to me. And this is when we was at it was called an IHOP, or it was on Jefferson at the time. IHOP on Jefferson near Shane. We was all there, and this is when I really announced. It was on the first of January 2018. I announced that that was our relationship. That I kind of announced it by putting it on Facebook, just letting everybody know we were together. Let everybody know we was together at that time. Nobody knew me and her was talking. We grew. We grew from the wedding to going out on the first date, and we just grew together. And nobody knew. Matthew didn't know. Nobody knew. Her sister, nobody knew. She wanted to tell him. I said, no, I don't want nobody to know. I don't want nobody to know. We just gonna wait. And then on January 1st, 2018, it's when I actually put you know, us, I put us on Facebook at the time and letting them know about the family and stuff. And that's when we actually let everybody know that we was together, you know. And that's actually, so far as I'm concerned, that's our anniversary date. Letting everybody know that we was together. Um, January 1st, 2018, you know. And everything else from that point on was the introductory to indexing, because once I first got stopped, which is I'll probably do that next week or maybe not, because the story is really done because of where I'm at now. But other than that, no, I think everything else from here on in gonna be on the movie from that point on, because from 2018 we can take it from there, from picking it up from here. And the reason why I want to hold that is because all the court cases. I will say this: all the court cases I dealt with. But first, I would say this. Now, before I get to the court cases, 2018, or was it 2019? It was late 2018. I got stopped by the cops. I'm gonna put this out here. I got stopped by the cop. We was coming from where I was coming from banquet service. She was picking me up, going back to the apartment. I got stopped, pulled me over, maybe going about 10, no more than 10, always no more than 10 miles over the limit, if that. The front headlight was out. I didn't know she didn't have no insurance. Still didn't know it. Got stopped. Young cop came up. Your front headlight was out now. You going about 10 miles. I said, really? I didn't realize I was doing that, officer. I always say, hey, officer, how you doing? Always. And so he come up, say all that, get my ID, go back. Less than 2 minutes, come back. Have a nice day, sir. Thank you, sir. You have a good day. Bam. I pull off. That was the first time I get stopped. Since indexing, that was the first time I get stopped. Pull off, right? Ella, how you doing? I was thinking about you, and I didn't tell that part of the story. I'm glad you popped up. I forgot to tell this to y'all. Oh, I'm glad she popped up because I said this, but I forgot this part of the story. Remember when I told y'all, right? Remember when I told y'all that about I recorded the demonic spirit that was in the phone? I forgot to tell you this in 2016. It had to be in 2016 or 2017. Around this time, I'm still doing banquet serving, right? I'm banquet serving with my sister Ella Bella, with my sister Ella, right? Now we banquet serving, right? And I'm telling we all on break, and I'm telling them, I got something to tell y'all, man. Yeah, some people, I think we was talking about demons or demonic spirits or something like that. And I said, I got something. Everybody thought I was joking. Everybody thought I was joking. I said, okay. I pulled my phone out. I said, check this out. I put it on speaker and I played it. They heard it. Everybody like, they was all scared then. I said, y'all thought I was joking, did you? They didn't want to hear it no more, but they seen that it was real. Ella, I wish I could pull you up and say, hey, me. I wish I could pull you up and so you can tell the story, but I'm glad you popped up. That was meant for me to see. She popped up for me to tell that part of the story. And when that happened, and when I played, everybody got nervous and scared when they heard it. I played it on the phone just like that. Played it, they were shocked. So I think that was around 2000, late 2016, sometime in 2017, when that part happened. See, that's what I'm saying. This is the reason why I'm telling the story, so I can remember when I do my book or do my story or what have you, I can actually have a memory to come back to. So I'm glad Ella came up so I can remember that part of the story. Dang, Ella. And I was going to call you today. It was on my mind last night just as I was asleep to give you a call. So I'm glad you popped up on my feed today. So I'm going to call you. It's kind of late now. If I get off, I may call or I may call you tomorrow. Because I know if we get on, we're going to be on for a minute. We talk for a minute all the time. So you want me to call you tonight or you want to wait till tomorrow? Because I'll be getting off in a few minutes. I see, yeah. But yeah, for what? Tonight, tomorrow, when? It's something I want to share with you. You need to know what I'm about to tell you. So let me know what you want me to do. Call you tonight. I can call you tomorrow. I'm about to get off in a few minutes. I'm at the end practically at the end of my story now. I'm telling the story of my life, and I'm at the end of now. So right now. I'm at 16 and 17. Nope, 17 and 18. Because I did last week. I did 15, 16. This part whenever I would be up. Okay, cool. So I'll probably call you tonight, maybe, if I'm not tired. If not, I know how you sleep. I know how you sleep hard. So if I don't call you now, I'm definitely going to call you tomorrow. Because it was on my mind to call you today. It just popped on my mind as I was laying down. I need to call Ellen and see how she's doing, you know. So I'm going to give you a call. And there's some things I need to share with you that's going on right now that you really need to be a part of and understand. I'm glad you did get indexed too. She did get indexed. Ella got indexed, so yeah, yeah, you ought to go back and check out some of my stories. I'm sharing my life story, so if I can have stuff just like you just popped up, I remembered about that. I'm trying to remember things so when I do my book or do my and my boy G1, he one told me, he said, man, you ought to go ahead and talk about it and make it so you can come, and I thought, yeah, that'd be good so I can remember what I need in case it's things that I've forgotten. If I want to do a book or a movie or something like that, I can actually put it all together. So I'm just going over my story now. So I'm at the end of it at this point in time about me and Joanne getting together, connecting. We went out, me, you, and Joanne, and went out a few times. You know what I'm saying? So just put it out there. So yeah, this is my story and what I've been through up into where I am now. Um, like I say, up to where I am now. So I'm up to where with me and Joanne connected, got together, and this is where we at the moment. So I think I'm gonna probably cut it off right here for the story. That is. So this will be the end for the story part. For next week, we'll probably get back to just open conversation, and you know what? It'll be good that just talking about when we get on my Zoom and we have open conversation. If y'all just want to talk about anything I done talked about, it'll bring more light to information that I may have talked about. So it's good. I just laid everything out so far within these 16, 18 points, 18 from 1 to 18 out of all this information. So it'll be good just to talk about these things, and then I can kind of really come together, you know, especially for those who have been a part of them as well. So other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to get off. We are hour and 30 minutes in on this one. And I believe this is the end of Life of Mikael, question and answers. Today, or this one is 17 and 18. I think last week was 15 and 16. So 17 and 18 is today. And other than that, is there anything you'd like to say, G1, before we go? According to the what's called, yeah, I think we can talk about it next week if we want to have a conversation about it. That way you can go over some stuff, listen to it, make notes, what have you. Next week we have more like information on it. And that's if we're gonna have a question or topic on that. If we talk about it, that'll be 19 and 20. And we can just have conversation about it. That way it'd be wide open. All my other information is there. Confirmation can come and information can come, and then we can go from there and then we can talk on that if you like. So we'll probably end it for tonight. And Ella, I'm gonna give you a call, sweetie. I'm gonna give you a call in a few minutes because look like you up wide, like you wide up. What look like you up wide open. So I'm gonna call you when I get off, okay? Because I ain't sleepy yet. So other than that, I just like to say that I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be, waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm that same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwells, who deceiveth the whole world but prevail him not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see that Mikael is really me. Other than that, I'd like to thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. And if you we're going to end it first. Let me end it correctly. End it with the benediction. We'll end it with the benediction. Let me cut this thing off because it's blowing, but I don't feel no heat. So, we're going to end it with the benediction. And then we're going to do the Shema on the way out. And then we'll tell everybody how to get in contact with us. And then after I pull off, I'm going to call Ella, 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 and we'll go from there. So other than that, let me go ahead and get this together correctly. This is the priestly's benediction What the Creator told Moses to tell Aaron and the son to speak to the people. And this is in Numbers chapter 6, verse 22 through 27. And it states, And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, and say unto them, Yah bless thee and keep thee. Yah make his face shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee. Yah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put Yah's name upon the children of Israel, which is his law, and Yah will bless them. In all these things we pray. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shekebo, Vakuto Violam, Vaed. Hallelujah. Hear, O Israel, Yah Father is one Father. Blessed be thy glorious kingdom forever and ever. Hallelujah. Praise you, Father. Bless you for your word. Thank you for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. Thank you for this road of success and the guidance you have given me to see where I am today. And as you keep leading and guiding me as we go through our life, keep opening the eyes of our people so they can learn to know and do your will and walk in your way. In your holy word we pray. Hallelujah. 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 Thank you, Father. And for everybody else, if you'd like to get in contact with me, just so we can get the last bit of the last. Okay, sorry, y'all. Look like we're looking kind of darky over here. There we go. We'll switch y'all up real quick. Get you, excuse me, y'all. Right there. Now, yeah, because you was getting a little dark right there. Now, as I was about to say, um, if you'd like to get in contact with me, you can always call or text me at 770-572-5315. That's 770-572-5315. Or you can always email me at LKHYYM. That's LKHYYM at gmail.com. LKHYYM at gmail.com. All right. If you like to check us out, if you like to look at part 1 and part 2 on live, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 and part 2 you'll find on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. There's Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And part 1 and part 2 will be on YouTube Live at Juice Pro 33. My YouTube is Juice Pro 33. That's JUICE PRO 33. That's JUICE PRO 33. All right, all together, one word. That's my YouTube live for part 1 and part 2. And please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share on my YouTube live. On my YouTube. Also, you can find me on Instagram at L'chaim _ the Juice, which is spelled LKHYYM _ THEJUICE. Excuse me. That's LKHYYM _ THEJUICE. All right, that's Instagram. Now, my Facebook is Mikael Harris, which is MI apostrophe CHAEL space HARRIS. That's MI apostrophe CHAEL space Harris. All right. Now that's for part one and part two. Now for the full version, you'll find the full version, which is from Zoom, which is I upload these. The full version from Zoom will be on YouTube as well, which again is JUICEPRO33 under video. That's on video under YouTube at JUICEPRO33, all one word all together. And please like, subscribe, and share as I was just sharing. And you can also find us on Instagram, my bad, on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, under the same name, which is Juice Pro 33. JUICEPRO33 all together. That's JUICEPRO 33. That's X, formerly known as Twitter. And also you'll find us on Patreon, patreon.com/LKHYYM. That's patreon.com/LKHYYM. Right? And also rumble.com/LKHYYM. That's rumble.com/LKHYYM. Now, last but not least, for the medias is TikTok. You can always catch me on TikTok. It's the same as Instagram, which is at Lakaim underscore the juice. My TikTok, that's one. My first TikTok is at LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. Excuse me. Again, that's at sign LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE for TikTok. And my second TikTok is Michael the Juice Harris. That's Michael the Juice Harris, spelt with first starting with at sign MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. Again, that's at MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. Now, those were the platforms. Now, this is for your Zoom. If you're interested in getting on the Zoom with us, my Zoom is the nights are, should I say, for my Zoom is Sunday, which is like the night after Sunday, which is like tonight was, which is Fight Fire with Truth, open conversation. Fight Fire with Truth, which is open conversation on Sundays at 9 p.m. Night after Sunday, actually, or at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on Monday nights, Monday at 9 p.m., we have Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. That's Mikael's Knowledge of Truth at 9 p.m. And all my information is in the post. If you go into the post, all the posts I share with you, you will see the post and all the information, and you'll see the link to Zoom as well. The only one I know you won't be able to get on from, I know you won't be able to get on from Instagram because that's just straight information there. You can't get no link or anything. Excuse me. Excuse me. So again, that's Mikael's Knowledge of Truth, 9 p.m. night after Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now on Tuesday nights, this is what I want to share with you. Well, Bernard in. Maybe he's still in, or he just came in and left. But on Tuesday night, we have Introductory to Solving Class of Knowledge. That's introduction. That's Introduction to Solving Class of Knowledge. And that's on Tuesday evenings, it's night now, but Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Tuesdays at 6 p.m. We start off, and I'm letting everyone know that if anybody comes in or invited in, if you don't have your NDA in, you will be asked to leave after the information of the introductory of the NDA or what we as we share. So that's just letting it be known. All right. If you ain't got your NDA in, you're not getting no further. We're gonna log you off. If you're not getting any further, then the introductory itself. The introductory, everybody can get taught after that. Anybody who don't have their NDA in, gotta go. So, other than that, that's on Tuesdays. Now on the and Wednesdays is to be determined. I'm just gonna leave that like that. Wednesdays are to be determined. I will let that be known as well. But on the Sabbath, we have the Sabbath, which is Assembly of the Righteous. Assembly of the Righteous on the Sabbath day, which is at 12 p.m. noon, which is the beginning of the evening. 12 p.m. noon, which is beginning of the evening. We have Assembly of the Righteous on the Sabbath, and that's 12 p.m. noon. Other than that, we hope to see you again soon. And this is the end of Mikael's, or should I say, Life of Mikael question and answer. Now, next week we may have actual question and answers. If anybody have anything to say, if not, we just go into dialogue and other information. Other than that, um, other than that, I thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. Get ready to say bye to everybody. I know that Zoom you've been on the longest, so we're probably gonna let you go first, but then maybe next week, if I don't see you tomorrow, but next week when we come back here, we'll have more conversation. And if you got questions then, G1, you got a lot to feed off of to ask questions about. We'll start that next week. And we'll go on until we get to where we at. If y'all want, we'll go from there. But first, I'm gonna say bye to Zoom because it's been on the longest, and that's why I can go ahead and get to Ella in a few minutes. Soon as I get off of these platforms. Other than that, I thank y'all for y'all time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. Love you. I'll see you in a minute, bruh, and we'll talk soon on Zoom. Peace.